the.
Yep.
Welcome back to the Norse Benchwarmers podcast, the first ever live edition of the Norse Benchwarmers. I am your host, Colton Smith, here joined by producer Josh Northcutt, special guest Alex Perez, our director Garrett Jordan, and another special guest, Phil Hoffman.
Hey.
And next to me here, I have Ben Miller in a different seat. Ben, how do you feel about your new seat arrangement?
I'll take it. It's cool.
Do I smell bad?
No, not at all.
Good.
It seems really crowded over there.
It does. I was thinking that. It is weird. It's definitely different. But we are here for our first live show and a fantasy draft featuring all of us and some other characters out there as well. I'm going to go ahead and break down the draft order we have here. At the first pick, we have the Chenry 20s, best friend from high school, and one of the best fantasy draft people I know. You're welcome, Chenry. Then we have at number 2, Classic Phil. Number 3, we have Trey's Talon. It cuts it off. Was it?
Yeah, it does. They count them off.
Talentinos or something. We got Slim.
We got Slim Shiesty.
Slim
That would be me at 4.
Okay. Fight.
At 5.
At 5.
Metcalf's Mighty Militia.
Something like that.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Ben's best team.
Little
The
cocky there, isn't it, Ben?
presidential picks.
I might have the best one by the night.
At number 8, Ben's best team at number 7, of course. At number 9, we have Deshaun. We have Deshaun.
We'll leave it at that.
The rest, but I don't think I want to see the rest. And then lastly, we have Colton's top-notch team. And that's just the auto-generated one. I love it, though. I don't know why. I love that one. But, yeah. What do you guys think about your picking order? I despise mine at last, but, it happens.
I'm extremely excited. Pick 4 is almost a give me. I'll get either McCaffrey, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, or a player that I'm hoping to get, but I'm not going to mention his name quite yet. So,
You got to keep the secret.
Yeah. I'm very happy with pick number 4.
I'm pretty happy with mine because I don't have to wait forever in between picks. So I do like that.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited with my pick at number 7. I feel like I can potentially get a good player, so we'll see what happens.
Phil, what do you think about your play spot?
I'm happy with it. I pretty much know who I'm taking unless Christian McCaffrey falls. But, yeah, I'm pretty happy with 2.
And Garrett, your opinion?
With my
Yeah, we don't care. We don't care.
No, you don't
No,
care
we
about
don't
my
care.
opinion.
We don't care.
You don't
Yeah.
care about my
Take
opinion ever.
DK Metcalf or you don't get him. Just saying.
Yeah, no, that's pretty much. I honestly just because you're here, I don't expect to get DK Metcalf. So it'll be funny. I'll have a fantasy team. I'll have a fantasy team named after DK Metcalf and one of DK Metcalf on
Those
it.
are the best ones. But so we don't have anyone here that's at number 1. Of course, Chenry has that. So I will ask, and I think it's a pretty simple answer for most people. Who would you guys take at the number 1 pick, starting with Ben?
I would probably go with, man, this is tough. Probably Joe Burrow.
Burrow number 1. I wish you were picking number 1. I needed that good luck. No, for me, it's the player that I want to draft at 4. It's Breece Hall, which I know kind of surprises a lot of people, but my take last week was he's going to be the offensive player of the year, and if I believe that much in him, then I believe he's worthy of the number 1 pick.
Well, I thought everybody was going to go with Christian McCaffrey, so I went somewhere else. I said Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins were second in passing yards last year. He averaged 24 points a game fantasy-wise last year, and one of 8 players who had 90 receptions and 1,200 receiving yards last year. So I thought it would be a fun pick, but everybody didn't go.
They went the opposite direction.
Forget me.
What do you guys think over there?
Phil,
Yeah,
Phil, you got to lean here.
I totally wasn't going to mix it up. I was going to say McCaffrey.
Yeah, I'm with Phil. I don't know much about fantasy, but I know that guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's solid, I don't even know who I would pick number 1 because I don't have to worry about it because I'm in 10th. So I have to think about who I pick first in the second round, not the first round. But we do have our first chatter. in the chat here. Chinry20 says goat. What does that mean? We don't know. I guess he's referring to himself. But shout out Chinry for being the first one to chat.
He said Young Hoku is going #1, man.
I believe it.
If that
I believe it,
happens,
Phil.
man, that would be quite the experience. But how much time we got left now?
We got 9.5 minutes.
9.5 minutes. You want to go ahead and do our winner circle?
We should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might as
All right.
well. We'll let our guest start first. So Alex, you can go first, and then Phil.
You're too kind. I didn't go football. I went basketball.
Okay.
The Indiana Fever was who I was looking to, and Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell already get too much praise. So I'm going with Lexi Hull for my winner circle. Indiana Fever are first in offense since August 1st, and she's a big reason. She's shooting 68% from three, and the Fever are in sixth place with a 6-1 record since the Olympic break, and her offense has been a big part of why.
I got a quick question about that. I haven't been able to follow much about the WNBA. I see your post every night almost about different games.
Best follow on Twitter.
Yeah. Are they legit like championship contenders, or you still think they're like a year or two away?
They're not legit championship contenders,
Okay.
but they can make some noise in the playoffs. The first round's only 3 games, so you only have to win 2. I think they could get a first round win, but I don't see much happening past that. I think there's some promise for this team in the next couple of years, though, for sure.
Nice. All right, Phil, you got your winner circle pick?
Yeah, I'm not going to go with a person for mine, but an organization. I'm going to pick the 49ers. They finally got those deals done with Brandon Ayuk and now Trent Williams today.
Oh, I didn't hear they got. I didn't hear they got Trent Williams done.
Yeah, neither did I.
3-year deal.
Yeah, I'll say that's news to me.
That's nice. An organization that actually knows how to pay their players.
Yeah.
Somebody else go before I get angry.
Alex and the Bengals gear over here have no clue what that's like.
Ben, you got a pick for a winner circle.
Yes, sir, I do. I'm going to the world of NASCAR. It's not
Hey.
shocking to you guys,
Should've taken that
but
back.
Chase Briscoe, a winner in the Southern 500 with a walk-off win, punches his ticket to the playoffs. So shout out Chase Briscoe.
Nice. I'm going to go ahead and surprisingly, or I guess not, Phil said football, but I'm going to be the first college football winner. Ashton Genty?
Genty. Yeah.
Genty, sorry.
Genty, yep.
Genty, 6 touchdowns. Boise State running back, 6 touchdowns, 267 yards. It was still like a close game with Georgia Southern, so that's a little alarming because Boise State was a team that a lot of people thought was going to get that 12th bid, but I mean, 6 TDs, 267 yards. That's insane.
That's
it's
crazy.
a beautiful day in the office if you're a running back. That's for darn sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I know they took a little bit hit when it comes to the college football playoff because everybody thought they were going to start Malachi Nelson. He is no longer the starter because I guess he wasn't picking up the system well enough. But Garrett, you want to go or you want me to go?
For winner circle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can go.
All right.
Yeah, so my winner circle, I'm going to take it back to the land of tennis. Dan Evans is a 34-year-old British tennis player who completed the longest match in U.S. Open history at 5 hours and 35 minutes, defeating Karen Khachanov in 5 sets, which I believe 3 of them went to tiebreak, and the last set he rallied from 4 games down to win and rattled off 6 straight to win the series. Or win the match, I should say. And I think afterwards he was quoted as saying, "I just want to go to bed."
That's fair.
So he won his next round, but then unfortunately lost in the 3rd round to Alex Demonauer. So if you're going to lose to somebody, it's probably going to be that guy. But Dan Evans, congratulations on cementing yourself in tennis history.
Before we go to you, Josh, Chinry has given his winner circle, and he's taken a page out of Ben's book, and Chase Briscoe is his winner circle.
Very
So,
nice.
Good
in case
pick.
the people are wondering.
Thank you, Chenry. But for me, I was debating between 2 people. My first guy was some guy named Miller Moss. Who?
Who's that guy?
Garrett, do you want to tell us anything about Miller
Yeah,
Moss?
you know anything about that guy?
I mean, he's a pretty good quarterback from what I saw.
Oh, okay,
I mean,
okay.
he's pretty good.
Solid.
Yeah.
However, with the news that came out yesterday, I have only one answer for that, and it's Ben Herbstreit, the 10-year-old golden retriever that
Yes.
everyone loves. It was found out. It was found out last night via Twitter. Kirk let us all know he was diagnosed with leukemia in March and had 2 major surgeries in late July to remove 2 masses in his spleen and intestine. Both were cancerous. However, despite the challenging offseason, Ben, in a 36-hour span, went from Cincinnati to Texas A&M to Vegas and got his face on ESPN, even if Kirk was apologizing. There is no reason to apologize for Ben. Ben can go where he wants, how he wants, whenever he wants.
And he needs a close-up wherever he goes.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
Straight up Ben
Absolutely.
cam.
So,
I will
yeah.
be that guy that just follows Ben around.
That should happen. A Ben cam should 100% happen. Definitely.
Just in the top right, or no, we have Ben as like the whole thing, and the game's just in the top right. Yes.
But I think the best thing about the Ben thing, and it's one of the funniest, is at one point Garrett puts in our group text,
Oh, no.
I love Ben. And Ben here is at work. So Ben comes out and all Ben sees is, I love Ben. Oh boy. But no, absolutely, it's got to be Ben Herbstreit, the most wonderful dog that, it doesn't even know how many people love him, but it's the only reason to follow Kirk Herbstreit, even though his 3 other dogs are awesome too.
Yeah, that's such a great story. I mean, dogs are awesome. College football is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, they literally just watching him pregame. I don't know if you've seen it, but they like had a video of him with the Texas A&M dog, and they were like just playing around with each other. The year before that, he got to meet Uga, and the dog is just wonderful. Like, it's the best thing Herbstreit has ever done. I don't care about his accolades at Ohio State, so
Yeah.
the best thing he ever done was bring Ben along and kind of make the world a little bit better place. Because I mean, that dog is just—it's always so happy, and
Right.
just, so.
Yeah. Well, that is our winner's circle. I love the variety there. Honestly, I thought it was just going to be college football all around, but we
It
had,
was tough to not pick college football.
yeah, but
Could
You
have
got
picked
some good
LSU,
ones.
right?
yeah,
They won, right?
Yeah.
Tough
Why?
night.
Why?
I'm curious. What are your
Why?
thoughts on what you saw from the team? Is this about what you expected? Or did they exceed? Did they?
Honestly, I don't want to take up too much time on this.
Yeah.
Garrett Nussmeier looked better. I don't know if it's Nuss or Nussmeier. I think it's Nussmeier. Nussmeier.
I like saying Nussmeier better.
Yeah, Nussmeier looked better than I expected him to. Granted, he has been sitting behind Jaden Daniels for I think 2 years now. So I'm not entirely sure what I was expecting, but it wasn't for him to come out and complete over 80% of his passes in the first half. That was something that I was not ready for. The defense still needs some help. There's still some questions about the secondary. We have players in the secondary. They need to play together as a team in order to have that secondary really gel together. Harold Perkins will probably be a very high draft pick. LSU has a pretty good offensive line. That's about it. Kyron Lacey is also pretty good.
Yeah.
That Lacey kid is very good. He's going to be another first-round pick from LSU. That's like, oh, look, he's really, really good. Oh, he's going in the first round. Oh, he's a top 10 wide receiver.
Have we seen this before? A time or two.
My prediction for the Tigers, based off of that first game, is I'll say 8-4 at the end of the season. I'd be happy with an 8-4 season.
You happy with 8-4? They're going to kill Brian Kelly if they go 8-4.
For maybe most
Wouldn't
Tigers
surprise
fans, but I'm just happy to have a winning season and maybe get to a bowl game with a junior quarterback. So,
Well, I'm going to say,
especially in the SEC.
yeah, I'm going to say, if it makes you feel any better after watching Michigan on Saturday, my hot take about them making the playoffs is completely out the window. They're going to go 8-4 also.
They won it this week?
No, they're losing to Texas. They're losing to Oregon. They're losing to USC, and then they're losing that last game in November that I'm not ever going to say out loud that they're going to lose. And when it comes that week, I'll tell you they're going to win.
Wow.
But they're going to lose.
Man, those are some big 4 games.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough season for my boys. But we got a minute until the
we are almost
Chenery
there.
makes the pick.
So
and I
college
think
football out the window. It's time to focus on some NFL football. So sources say that Chenery will be selecting Young Ho Koo with the first pick.
Her sources.
I would
Ian Rappaport
lose.
tweet.
Yeah, I would lose my mind if Chenery actually followed through with that. It wouldn't be shocking. But I would assume he's going to take McCaffrey, right? Like the safe
Has
pick.
to.
He's got to, yeah.
He just
Yeah.
makes
I mean,
sense.
it's the safest pick of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
no.
mean the only concern is his history.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
don't want to like flat out say it, but
30
his history.
seconds.
Don't say the word.
30 seconds. Just feels like the New Year's ball drop right
Yeah, so
now.
where's
Yeah.
the ball?
Yeah.
Need that to start
Yeah,
dropping
we
soon.
need to have like confetti and stuff.
and I will tell you guys, it is very smart to have y'all who have not done it before have a few players in the queue, because players will fly off the board that you want, and then you'll be scrambling, and 60 seconds goes a lot quicker when you're drafting than you ever realized.
Oh, it's 60? I thought it was a minute 30.
Nope, he changed it to 60.
No, you changed it to 60? All right.
Yeah, we did.
Well, we're picking.
Gentle.
All right.
Here we go.
Somebody has their sound
Whoever has their sound on, make sure you
I'm
mute
watching.
that, please. Also,
Colton, I think it might be your laptop right here.
My laptop's right here.
Well, whose is this one then?
That's the NKU Media Services.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I probably need
That
to
was
mute
mine. My bad.
Phil staying quiet as usual to the very end.
Of course.
Chenry is taking every last second here, searching throughout the NFL for what
He's
is
only had an
going
hour
on.
to figure this out.
Let's see, is he in here? He never left the
I'm
draft.
staring down Young Hoku.
He's looking at him. He's looking at him long.
is he really going to make us wait an entire minute? This is like the NFL draft where they know who they're picking at number 1, and we're just waiting and waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
Why do they give him 15 minutes for the first
There it
pick?
is.
All right, there it is. There it is.
All right.
All right. Since Chenry's not here to explain his pick, although there is no explanation needed, I'm just going to go ahead to mine, and I am going to take CD Lamb.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
he's
All right.
gonna
All right.
do
Yep.
the same thing he did last year, man.
That makes sense.
I have to
I
ask
hate
Phil,
that.
why CD Lamb over Tyreek Hill?
You know, I just like,
Yep.
I don't know, I like Dak better, I guess, over Tua, but I don't know. I just like CD Lamb a lot.
Bijan Robinson just went number 3.
Went number
Ooh.
3.
That's an interesting pick.
Yeah, because I
like
don't
that.
want to take Tyreek Hill, but Tyreek Hill is staring straight at me. I want to take Brees Hall.
He's looking nice and pretty, isn't he?
It's just hard to pass on Tyreek Hill. He's
Oh,
He's
yeah.
arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. He's
for
arguably
sure.
the best fantasy wide receiver.
Yep.
Him, CeeDee Lamb, however you want to toss it up.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm going to go with the guy who I think wins Offensive Player of the Year, and I'm going to take Brees Hall. I expecting big thing from the Jets after looking at their schedule. It's a little more friendlier, and if they're going to do anything, it's got to be Brees running the ball and catching the ball and just doing Brees Hall type things. But fight,
There he
flew
is.
off the board.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
a
he
play pick
took
right
Tyreek
there.
Hill just as fast as Tyreek runs, man.
All right. Well,
He had that locked and loaded.
that was gonna be my pick. Now I gotta figure out what I gotta do.
Now he's
Hold
gotta
on, give me a
scramble.
second here.
You know, DK
I think it's pretty
Metcalf
obvious
is
if
on the
we
board.
go back to our our video about DK.
Where is DK Metcalf?
Funny how he's not up there.
Please do it.
Garrett, you got 30 seconds, buddy.
Dude, if he
There's no way he's going to do it, right?
you can't. Oh, good. Okay, good. He's
All
got
right, Garrett,
some
you're
sense.
down to 20 seconds.
Director, so we're just stuck on Garrett's until he's done with his pick.
Why did I? There we go.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, you're right. You know what you're looking at what you're looking at.
So that's just a mind.
Wait a minute. What?
You see, you're reading it. You're reading it. Yep.
So wait, was this the plan all along? You knew there was going to be a fantasy league, so you're going to make us all think you don't want Jamar, and then you draft Jamar?
I play the long game, boys. I play the long game.
We didn't even talk about the fantasy draft at that point. What?
I play the long game.
All right, Ben, you are up.
All right. I'm going with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, he's coming off
Great
a great
pick, man.
2023 season, and I feel like he's going to keep the momentum going with, especially with Jared Goff as his quarterback. So give me Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I like
And plus, he won't have, what, the torn meniscus or whatever it was in his knee?
It was his oblique.
Oh, was it his
Yeah,
oblique?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
He won't have that. I mean, he still played just as great, and you know he's a dog. You know he's going to play even if he's hurt and
Yep.
put up good numbers. So I don't hate that pick at all. I'm actually kind of frustrated that you took him. But I'm looking at the board. I'm happy with what's still on the board. We'll see what the Deshaun and Perez have here.
Perez.
Yeah, we'll see.
I will
They got-
take Justin Jefferson.
That's a good pick.
Yes.
That's a solid pick. I'd say. Last year that was the number one pick for a lot of
only-
people.
yeah.
The only reason I didn't take Jefferson over Chase is who's throwing him the ball.
Exactly.
That's what I was a little
yeah.
worried about. I was going to take Tyreek Hill, but obviously he got taken before this.
Yep.
I
Interesting
hesitate
pick
to
with
make this
Jonathan
first.
Taylor.
Yeah, that's who I was hoping would fall, but
Really?
I doubt it. I didn't see that falling at all.
By the
yeah,
way,
well,
that
I mean, it was
full
one pick
name-
away, Garrett. Thank you very much.
That full name is Deshaun Don't Touch Down There.
Oh,
Oh, Josh.
yeah, we're canceled.
So Saquon Barkley with the 10th overall pick.
All
There
right.
it is.
And now I look down for.
And that was your
who is
offensive player of the
next?
year too, right? So
Yes,
I mean,
that
you're
that
kind of the
fits
same.
in. I hesitate because of his history, but I hope that maybe with a better offensive line that can go in the past. Now with the second pick is where I have to think a little bit. I'll use up this full 30 seconds or that's left here.
Colton,
So-
where's your lean? What are you thinking?
I don't really want to take a wide receiver yet. I'll be honest. I want to
Really?
go with
Okay.
another running back. However, there's somebody staring at me that I am very high on this year that I kind of want to just take. And I think I'm going to go with it. I'm going to take Puka Nacua.
I knew it was going to be Puka.
Yeah.
Puka.
I knew
I'm
it was going to
high
be Puka.
I'm high on the Rams. I'm high on Stafford, and I'm high on Puka Nacua to not only back up what he did last season, but look twice as good as he did last season. Only not twice as good, but you get my point.
Twice as good would be pretty legendary.
I mean, we're talking Randy Moss numbers if he's twice as
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson goes off the board, and
Garrett
now
Wilson, I was thinking about him.
Alex is back on the clock. So, Alex, what are you thinking right now?
All right.
I think I'm gonna go wide receiver again. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like those running backs that I may want will still be there in the third. So I think I'm gonna go with AJ Brown.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a little
dude.
surprised he
Staring
fell.
at him right there.
Yeah,
the
AJ Brown was good.
Yeah, the fact you get AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson to start is not a bad combination.
Yeah, that's a
right
good
there.
1-2 punch.
That's where like picking later in the rounds, I don't mind so much. It's like you just double up on your wide receivers and you keep going. So I like both those picks.
Ben?
All right. Man, this is a tough decision. I'm thinking about going with another running back. I'm going with Kyron Williams from the Rams.
Okay.
I feel like,
That was the running back I was also thinking about taking. It was going to be a Rams
That's a
pick
good
for me.
pick.
yeah, I mean, I think the Rams, they're going to be in great contention this year. I mean, you got Stafford, you got Puka Nacua, you got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Williams at running back, I feel like he's going to make a lot of noise this year. So.
Absolutely.
I have to ask one question about him, and maybe you missed it because you were working all weekend.
Oh,
You
boy.
did see he's returning punts now, and he may not be carrying the ball the whole time.
Oh, really? I did not hear that. Okay.
Yeah, Sean McVay moved him to punt returner.
Hey,
Oh, boy.
That scares me just a little bit, but it's one of those things. I'm like, could he just be messing with the media?
Absolutely.
Because you don't
Could be
put
for
Kyron
sure, yeah.
Williams returning
No.
punts, right?
Yeah.
I've made my selection.
Who'd you go with?
Mike Evans.
You know, I
Evans.
like those big, tall guys on the end.
Yeah.
Mike Evans doesn't surprise me. That's not the big tall guy I thought you'd go with.
Yeah, that's not the one I was thinking. You did give him a warning before.
Oh, he's
the
100%
show.
not making back to him.
I think Garrett has relinquished DK Metcalf.
I've given up DK Metcalf
Is it because he was throwing to him?
partially.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just not a big Geno Smith believer. I think he's a bridge quarterback until they find that guy.
Okay.
He's not a bad quarterback. Don't get me wrong, Geno Smith. If you're watching this, please don't crucify me.
Yeah, I'm sure he's. I mean, we got 8 viewers.
Yeah,
so
he's
I'm
watching
sure he's
it.
one
Gotta
of
be
them.
one of them,
Sulov
for sure.
Sulov had a question. He wants to know what product I use for my hair. A magician never reveals his secrets, Sulov.
All right,
Never
so I'm
reveals his
officially on the
secrets.
clock after Derrick Henry goes. A little surprised with that, with it being a PPR league. So now I'm a little torn between 2 picks, and I can go ahead and just spill them out loud because neither one's going to make it back to me. It's either Gibbs or ETN. I like both of them catching the ball out of the backfield. However, Gibbs' injury worries me a little bit. Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, but I'm not doing that because, not taking a Buckeye. And then I guess I'm going to go with the homer pick and draft Travis Etienne. I think he's due for a bounce back year. Catches the ball a lot. Trevor Lawrence loves throwing him the football, so I'll take Etienne and hope that Gibbs doesn't burn me.
Yeah, I mean, I had ETN last year, and yes, it was a down year, but there was definitely some games where he pretty well carried my team. But yeah, I think he could have a bounce back. I think that
Finished as
Jacksonville in a general.
RB2 last year in PPR, man.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
Oh
dude.
yeah, that's a
He
good
had an
point.
up
I didn't
year.
think about that.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was.
that's what I'm saying.
I thought it was his
I
rookie.
didn't
I thought it was his
Etienne
rookie year.
and
He
then
did.
Mostert.
That makes sense. I was gonna say, I had him last year. I didn't think he did that
He
bad.
was a dog, man.
That's news to me.
I
Are
really
you sure
wanted
you're
him,
not-
actually.
I think
Are you
like
sure
when
you're
you're
not
just
thinking of his rookie season?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought he was banged up last year, and Bigsby took him some. But you're on the clock
Tank?
anyway, Phil. So
Tank Bigsby?
Michael Pittman Jr. just went, which also is a little bit surprising.
I'm surprised he went that
love
high.
that pick, actually.
You love that pick, or
I'm a
just
big Michael Pittman Jr. guy.
nice?
I was going to go running back here either way. Between Gibbs, like you were saying, Josh, and then Pacheco. I think Pacheco's going to have a big year in that offense. But I think I'm just going to go with Gibbs.
I feel like that's a safer way
when
to
you
go.
finish as an RB1 your rookie year, I mean, that's
Right.
pretty damn great.
Yup.
Yeah, just the only thing is that hamstring injury. How is it? Like we saw how it affected Joe Burrow.
It's
you
a
know?
gamble.
So
Yeah.
it's I would say that's definitely still a gamble, but well worthy gamble, especially
I think
where we're
my-
at still into the second round.
My one rule I established for myself for my first time doing fantasy is don't take players that are injured or injury prone, because people not playing does not generate points.
Availability is the best ability.
Exactly.
We said that a lot here on the pod. So.
Marvin Harrison Jr. going to Chenry.
Oh,
All right.
Chenry pulling deep. I don't
Interesting.
hate that pick.
I don't hate Marvin Harrison Jr. at all. He does have a toddler throwing him the football.
Oh,
so that might hold him back.
Wait. Look, go to Alex.
Yeah,
Go to
hold on.
Alex. Hold on a
Oh,
second.
we're going to Alex. All right.
Or just go. You can put the logo up there. You can see
I
the.
was, I was gonna.
Oh, it's a shame
yeah,
Alex is blocking
put
it.
the logo. Yeah.
Let's see. I was gonna do. Oh, that's not it.
There it is.
Oh.
Look at him there to the
is.
left.
Yeah.
There he is.
Talking about yourself there, Josh?
He's a toddler. And honestly, you experience it when I have a few beverages in me and I lose in college football. I do become a toddler.
Does Chenry realize he's picking again, or is he just using up all the time like
That's
I
a
do?
good question.
He's just using up all
Don't
the
know.
time.
It will be very awkward if he doesn't pick, because I mean, he'll get Drake London,
There
which
he
isn't a
goes.
bad pick.
Pacheco.
Oh, so
Damn,
he's
dude.
clearly listening to the podcast and knew.
Yeah,
Phil
dude, I
was about
totally
to take him.
forgot. I was like, on. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where
He's
you got to
on
be.
the
A
airwaves.
that's where you got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, dude. I will.
All right, so where are you looking
Classic
now, Phil?
Phil.
I don't know. I was gonna pick him. Well,
We have a couple chats. Nets W Plays asked Waddle or Cup. He said quick. I just now saw it, so hopefully we're not too late. I would take probably
I'm Waddle.
Cup, right?
Nah,
You're
I'm
potentially
Waddle.
gonna-
Waddle?
You're potentially going to find out when I'm on the clock.
Answer will be there soon. Maybe not
So
quick
you're
enough.
saying DK might still be available?
all right. I want Rashad White.
Maybe.
here.
Wow.
And
I wanted
then-
to keep
Shot
the running
White.
back.
And then Ronnie K said he's from the UK and fancied trying out NFL fantasy. Could you rate my first team? He has no idea what he's doing, but it looks fun. He says he's got Josh Allen, Chuba Hubbard, Jay Cook, Chris Godwin, Jamar Chase, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, and Harrison Butker.
I don't hate that team.
I don't know about Hubbard.
I'm a little iffy on his running backs, Hubbard and Cook, especially because you said he has Josh Allen, right?
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
a lot of points he's going to need from a Bills team that I don't believe is good. So that's a little concerned, but I mean, he's got Jamar Chase, so we can't ever hate on that.
Yeah.
And there goes DK Metcalf.
There he goes. He's gone. Josh didn't even get him. I think that kind of makes it even better, honestly.
Honestly, the fact that
It's bittersweet victory right there.
Yeah, I think we'll take him. But you know, before I make my pick, we really interrupted poor Phil in the background. Phil, what was your reason for Rashad White?
Oh, I mean, he's a workhorse back, and that may be because there's not other talented backs in that backfield. Although they did add Bucky Irving this offseason. I think he's just going to get so much work in
I
that offense.
love Bucky Irving. I think he is going to be a really good NFL talent.
Hey, how about we stop talking about my future picks? Anyway, so my pick's up right now, and I'm going to go between Cup and Waddle, and the answer to the question, I'm going with my little Cooper Cup. Absolutely love Cup. I think it's a bounce-back year. He should have been the one to take over Nakua. He will have better numbers than Nakua in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. I am all about possible comeback player of the year, Cooper Cup.
I'm looking at the draft board right now, and I'm just like, I'm laughing to myself because I wonder how far Malik Neighbors is going to fall because of Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Hold back because of Phil.
You're
But
talking
yeah,
about
but
me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about Phil.
Yeah.
yeah, but the only thing about Neighbors is that he's the only thing on that team. So
Right.
when they throw it, we
gonna go
might
to him.
I forget what analyst said it, but there's a legit chance he might receive the most targets a rookie ever has. And again, especially in this league, I mean, if he's receiving 200 targets, he catches 150 of them. I mean, that's pretty darn good for a guy who's not going to be playing with anything around him. Like, I don't know about you guys, and this is honestly, can anyone else name a wide receiver on their roster?
Isaiah McKenzie.
Who?
Oh, Keon Coleman.
No, that's Buffalo.
I thought we were talking
Who are we
about
talking
Buffalo.
about?
The Giants. Can they name
Oh, the
another
Giants.
Giants wide receiver?
Is Slayton still there?
I don't know.
One I can think
That's
of.
what I don't know.
My
how-
thing is, with no talent around him, aren't you worried that like he's going to get doubled all the time? And
That's
then
also
not get
true.
As many?
Yeah.
I mean, I would.
Getting doubled as a rookie and like you're
All right, I've made my
with
pick.
on the Giants is he made his pick.
I did.
Josh Jake, you
I love that pick.
Yeah.
I
He's
love
hell
the Josh
undervalued,
Jacobs pick. What was your reason behind it?
Just looking at the other running backs available and seeing what is coming available as the board moves further and further up, I figured I'd get one of those elite running backs off the board. And I like Josh Jacobs because he's going into his first year with a brand new team, Green Bay Packers. There's a lot of hype around this team. They just paid Jordan Love, like paid him. So they are looking to establish a core, and I think by getting Josh Jacobs and paying Jordan Love, they are trying to establish that core. And also, I feel like Josh Jacobs fits in Lambeau really well because he's a big bruiser over back, and I just feel like, a snow game in Lambeau, I want Josh Jacobs running that ball. Are you kidding me?
Can't hate it on that. And then right after that, Ben took Stephon Diggs. Thoughts there, Ben?
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Stephon Diggs is going to be really great this year, as he always is with, with this team this year. I mean, you got C.J. Stroud at quarterback and a couple of these other receivers that he's joining with. So this is arguably going to be the best roster in the NFL and maybe the best offense this year. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it all depends on Joe Mixon if they're going to be the best offense.
This is-
Yeah.
But
the Drake London pick, I like a lot.
well, I'm gonna say London just went, but before that, the first tight end went off the board.
first time off the
Alex.
board, Alex.
Yeah.
Kelsey,
okay.
Kelsey
I
over
missed that.
Laporta. So the 35 years old of age doesn't scare you any.
Not at all. Usually when he's Mahomes' #1 target, especially in the red zone, I'm not worried at all.
Yeah,
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
good. It's
Yeah.
a solid take.
For sure.
All right, now Colton's on the clock, but I did want to throw one name out there. Speaking of a good wide receiver on a bad team with bad quarterbacks, Chris Olave went between the Cup and Jacobs pick. Was anybody even looking at Chris Olave or wanting Chris Olave? Because he was one of my I'm not drafting.
Nah.
I was thinking about it for a little bit, but just because of the uncertainty of the quarterback situation in New Orleans, I didn't want to spring on it. But he's a good receiver. Once they get that QB situation figured out down there in NOLA, I think he's going to explode.
Hey, maybe it could be Spencer Rattler. You never know.
It could be, man. I don't know how I feel about Derek Carr leading that team this year.
No, it's not Derek Carr.
All right, well, we did just get to the fourth round, so we're going to take a little break of talking about the draft. Colton, do you want to lead us in the start bench cut, or you want me to?
We can kind of share it. You want to start it since you did the
so
you did the PowerPoints?
I was the one who kind of illustrated these three player comparisons of start bench cut, and the first one is going to be quarterbacks. Garrett, tell me when you're ready, and I got it up.
No, I'm all ready. I can
Okay,
put it up there
so
right now.
Garrett,
If you want,
if you
I
could
would
throw
keep.
up
I would
the-
keep
that's the wrong
that's
one.
Not it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
start
There
bench
it
cut.
is.
I would
Right
also
there, start
probably
bench
keep
cut.
the side thing on there for
You
a
want
while.
to keep that up there? I can keep it up
I
there.
would probably
All right.
The start bench cut, the first one. Alex, this one is specifically just for you.
So
Thank you.
Start bench cut quarterbacks. Which one of these quarterbacks would you love to be your starting quarterback?
I wonder what this is going to be.
You're gonna have to pull it down just for 1 second.
yeah, I know.
Mitch
Oh, my bad,
Trubisky,
my bad.
Mason Rudolph, or Pickett.
Jesus, Josh, you're evil. You are absolutely evil.
Okay, Mason Rudolph actually had a good
I don't
end to
know
the
what
season
happened
last
there.
year. So
Let's do that again.
I
There we
think
go.
I would start him, honestly.
start
Pickett.
Start
I would,
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, because
Okay.
he had a good end to the year last year. Kind of kept us alive, honestly. And then bench Pickett.
Oh shit, I'm on.
And then Trubisky. Yeah, why is he
I
even in the
have a
conversation?
question though. Does Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett have an MVP?
No.
So therefore, I am starting Mr. MVP, benching Kenny Pickett, and letting Mason Rudolph go play in the XFL.
Can you at least admit that was kind of funny?
That was very
That was
funny.
great.
I thought we were going like Justin Fields, Russell Wilson. What I thought.
No, darker times.
I was going down that route when I was creating these because at one point I was like comparing like Daniel Jones, Will Levis, and somebody else, and then I looked at like backups and I was like, oh, there's three Steelers players. We have a Steeler fan on the panel. Yep, we're going this route.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I mean, the better days are ahead, though. Russell Wilson and Justin Fields are better than both,
For
all
sure,
three of those
yeah.
guys. So.
We definitely improved over the offseason, even if it's a question of who should start. But it's an improvement nonetheless.
Fair enough. All right, Colton, if you want to throw the running backs to one of the guys here, feel free.
I do. There's another chat. They got a question.
Okay.
Asking about their team. TGTGGH says, yo, what do you think about my team? Tua, Jahmyr Gibbs, A-Chain, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Laporta, DJ Moore, and Sanders? Jay Sanders?
It probably would be, unless it's like a flex spot and they're talking about Miles Sanders, but it's probably Sanders the kicker.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it would be the Sanders the kicker for the Dolphins. So I feel like you named like 3 or 4 Dolphins players there.
He might have a tie.
So the same situation we talked about before. Oh, I'm on the clock. I better get on the clock.
Hey, I almost got him.
Yeah, and Joe Waddle's still there, so I'll take Joe Waddle.
He said both.
He said both. But no, so yeah, no, that was the only issue. Is it does seem like a lot of these guys go heavy on things, and I don't ever like the quarterback running back stack. I like the quarterback quarterback running back. I like the quarterback wide receiver stack. So that would be my thing. But Garrett, if you want to throw up the running back, I'll let Phil pick this one. If Phil can see it from where he is, hopefully.
Yes, I should be able to.
There we go.
He loves that picture.
I'll get those buttons down eventually.
All right, so this is the running back duos. Feel free, Phil, to cut. Start bench cut.
Yes. Start
You
bench
know,
cut.
I'm a big believer in Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. I think they are just both like fantastic. And I'm on the clock here, so if someone else wants to take this one,
I'll give you
locked in
mine.
here.
I'm huge on Kenneth Walker. He's a dog. I like them to start him and Charbonnet. And then I would probably go with what Phil was talking about, Tajay, and mostly because of Tajay, but also Pollard as well. And then, unfortunately, cut Warren and Najee, mostly because I picked Najee very early last year and did not end well. So
Fair enough.
I will say it's interesting because what I wanted to do, I was going to put the Bengals running back up group up there, but I felt like the homerness would show a little too much.
I wouldn't pick them. If you had those other,
yeah. I just wanted to see if anybody would actually pick the Bengals running back crew over any of those 6, and I 100% would not.
No, absolutely
I
not.
think the Bengals might have the second worst running back duo in all of football, only behind the Cowboys of retirement home Zeke Elliott, Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cooked.
Makes sense.
That's how we pronounce it. Dalvin Cooked.
Absolutely.
Bro is well done.
And now for the wide receivers, we're going to go ahead and just put Garrett on the clock here for wide receivers. Garrett.
You would.
Now you know what's going to be, don't you?
You would do this.
So Garrett,
Hey, Joe Burrow's off the clock. Did you guys see that?
I did not.
Joe Burrow, is that our first, quarterback?
Jerry took
Of
Joe
course.
Burrow.
That's not shocking, folks. That is not shocking.
Yeah, but there's a better cornerback on the board.
Jalen Hurts goes in the 4th round. I believe looks like he was the first quarterback to go. So we have our first 2 quarterbacks off the board.
All right, I'm gonna throw up this little trio you've got prepared.
And yeah,
here.
go ahead and put that.
Yeah,
put
go
up
ahead
your
and have
trio,
fun with that,
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, there we go. All right, so we're looking at the Bengals, the Seahawks, and the Bucks. And you're saying start, bench, cut?
Yeah, the trio.
The trio, like all of them got to go.
Yeah.
Yes. So you would pick the Bengals, the Seahawks, and the Buccaneers. I'll just pick it for you. You know.
Okay. No. That's tough. Because I like Mike Evans. Obviously, I like one player from each of those teams. I would
That's the
honestly,
whole point of that.
yeah, I'd probably I'd start the Bengals core. I think they have the best core. I'd bench the Seahawks and I'd cut the Buccaneers. That's my pick. and I'm sticking to it.
All right, so just to go back to the draft real fast. I am on the clock, and I always said you wait on your quarterback. However, you guys left you left the best fantasy quarterback on the board, so
Dude,
I'm gonna take Josh Allen.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for Josh Allen.
Chenry said he refuses to take Kermit Holmes. Chenry, I love you.
All right, so I believe tight ends are next, and it's
I've already got one.
the tight end group. No, for the tight end.
For the
okay,
I see.
For the show script.
Stay with us here.
So since Phil rudely just passed on his opportunity, we're gonna throw the tight ends to Phil.
All
Give
right.
us a start bench cut for possibly the 3 best young tight ends in all of the NFL. Trey McBride, Sam Laporta, and Brock Bowers.
I know what I do.
See, I think I got a pretty easy one here. I'm gonna go ahead and start Sam Laporta. He was a stud last year, dude. He had 10 touchdowns as a rookie, a whole bunch of targets and catches and yards.
Should have been a Bengal.
And then, and then I'm gonna go ahead bench
Good, glad we got that in
McBride,
there.
and I think Brock Bowers is a pretty easy cut for me here, just because we haven't seen him in the NFL.
What happened, Garrett?
I was gonna take Patty Mahomes.
Welcome to drafting 101.
Welcome
right
to
there.
fantasy football, Garrett.
Now I gotta look for. Oh, you know what? This guy had a pretty good year. We'll go CJ Stroud.
Oh, I was about to take Stroud.
The cycle of fantasy football, folks. The cycle of fantasy football.
Oh man.
So
right.
quarterbacks are absolutely starting to fly off.
They
the
They're
board.
flying off the
They
board.
are.
You know
Well,
what?
'cause
I'm
I
sitting
was-
pretty right here.
I would have gone Pat Mahomes, but once
Unfazed.
Pat Mahomes was gone, I was like, I don't really have another backup guy. I don't know who I want.
So my question is, why Stroud over Lamar? Lamar's got the running upside.
Part of me is scarred by having to play Phil on Madden, because whenever Phil did our dynasty with the Texans, CJ Stroud threw for like 6,000 yards in the season.
Yeah, that sounds give or take.
So I'm scared of him, and also that wide receiver trio that they have combined. I mean, they just got Joe Mixon. So they've got weapons for CJ Stroud, which I think last year was the one thing that he was really missing. Like, don't get me wrong, Nico Collins is a good receiver, Tank Tell is a good receiver, but I think both of them were competing for a mediocre wide receiver 1 spot, and I think they needed that wide receiver 1, and I think they found it in Diggs.
I wholeheartedly disagree with you on that take.
That's fair.
I took
You can
Nico in the
disagree.
4th
That's
round
fair.
too. I think Nico's the number 1 still.
man.
Like, they might have Diggs as a decoy number 1, but
That would
I think-
probably, that makes more sense to me.
I think Nico is going to be the true number 1, and I think Tank Dell is a hell of a wide receiver 3. They're one of the best cores in the league, just by even without Diggs, but now they for sure are.
That's what I said. We just had the order changed.
Yeah.
By the way, we just had 5 quarterbacks off the board in a row.
Yeah, QBs are
Dak and Lamar.
gone,
Including
and
Dak.
I
I
still,
would have taken Lamar over Dak.
Okay, now I got to go to Ben. Why
I
Dak over
still
Lamar?
remain unfazed. Anthony Richardson off the board too.
I mean, when it
Anthony
comes,
Richardson's awesome. Sorry, Ben.
no, you're good. So when it comes to the Baltimore's offense, I feel like they'll be good, but in a way, I am a little bit concerned about that offensive line. I mean, the Ravens lost 3 guys that protected Lamar really well, but I like Dak Prescott now that CD Lamb, they got the contract all figured out, and Brendan Cooks, can't sleep on him, so I feel like he's going to be just fine this year. So, give me Prescott.
And I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
he's got nobody to hand the football to, like we
I mean,
talked
yeah.
about earlier.
Yeah, I know, but
So he's going to have
Wow.
to sling it.
right,
I'm
yeah.
surprised DJ Moore fell that far, Colton.
I'm pleasantly surprised. I had no clue he was actually going to fall like the 3rd round. Like, I thought about taking him then, and he's still there. So
Yeah.
But somebody on the
I'll
panel,
gladly take
someone
that.
on the panel did take Lamar, so I'm going to throw it over to Alex. I saw Alex, you took Lamar. So was it just because he was the last available, or do you actually believe Lamar is still going to be Lamar? And
A little bit of both. I feel like with the new running game, he has a great opportunity for like play action passes. So I think that will open up the offense a whole lot. And like you mentioned earlier, with the dual threat of being able to run and pass the ball, just good for fantasy.
yeah, and then another pick I saw you make in the 4th round, and when we started doing the start bench cut, was Joe Mixon. A little surprised with how early he went there, but believer in Joe Mixon or believer in the Texans offense, or what's the idea with that pick? Because you're not a Bengals fan, so clearly
Yeah.
it wasn't that.
I would say that there's a little bit of both as well. I feel like he is good at catching the ball out of the backfield and I feel like this Texans offense is going to be probably the best in the league. And I believe in
100%.
C.J. Stroud a lot, so he will be able to toss the ball around
And you are on
get
the clock,
Mixon,
not to cut you off.
and get Mixon involved. Is all I was going to say.
All right, so in that time, we had Rashee Rice and Malik Neighbors come off the board. Do you have any thoughts about those two picks?
Rashee Rice should be suspended. I don't.
I wasn't going to say it.
Wholeheartedly agree.
I drafted him and I agree. However,
However, he's not suspended. He's the number 1 wide receiver.
yeah, I'll take that. I was sitting there and had a moral qualm. Like, this guy is obviously a piece of crap, but we're talking about a fantasy.
Yeah, I'm gonna
fantasy
say.
league,
I mean, you can be a horrible person and still put numbers up. That's all I
if you
care
give me
about.
numbers, that's all. As long as I get that W, I don't care. Florida.
I don't care how fast you drive.
Tim
that
Tebow
car.
led Florida team. Let's if you want to talk about some messed up people. Rashee Rice looks like Tim Tebow if you compare him to those guys.
But I do want to throw one more up there for the start bench cut. This was probably my favorite one to do. It is the brothers of the NFL. Anybody want to throw their opinion out there? Feel free. If Garrett can throw it up there.
No.
Okay. Well, you're all,
There you go.
it's the Watt brothers, the Kelsey brothers, and the Manning brothers. For me, it is Kelsey's one because last time I checked, they're the only 2 brothers ever to play in a Super Bowl versus each other. Sorry, Mannings, you couldn't do it even if you tried to fix it. 2 would be the Watts because I just love the Watts, specifically JJ. And 3 is the Mannings because I'm a Manning hater and I will never cheer for Peyton Manning.
No.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't realize
What do you got
anybody
against
hated
Peyton
Peyton
Manning?
Manning.
Big forehead and mouth breather.
So you just don't like him because you see yourself in him.
I mean, I do have a big forehead. I do have a big forehead. That's why I wear the hat. Gotta hide that shit.
But
Anybody else got to take on the brothers?
I agree with the Kelseys at number 1. But do either Watts have a Super Bowl?
No, they don't.
I knew the answer to that question.
They
So give me Manning's at 2, and then the Watts. But I mean, they're all legendary, all Hall of Famers.
Hall of Famers, yes.
Yeah.
For myself, I would probably go with the Kelsey brothers, start them, and then
Garrett, you're on the clock, by the way. 7 seconds.
I'm
Okay.
between 2.
the Watts I would put in second because they're so dominant at both their positions, and the Mannings I like them. I respect both of them for what they've accomplished in their careers, but obviously I would bench them because Peyton Manning's more accomplished.
Fair enough.
All right.
For me, I'd say I would go with the Kelseys because they're just legendary. They might end up the best at their position, each one of them.
I think they are the best.
Yeah, I think honestly you got that.
Yeah, I don't think if Jason Kelsey doesn't get into the Hall of Fame, people will burn it down.
No, dude, he's getting in.
I can't take my
First
bias
ballot,
out of
yeah.
this, so we'll bench the Watts because I like TJ a lot. Surprise, surprise. And
Wonder why.
JJ is one of the best defensive players to ever live. And then the Mannings, you can cut them. That's fine.
Get him out of here.
Speaking of Watt, just a comparison of who do you think, if you had you needed 1 sack to win the Super Bowl, is it Aaron Donald or is it JJ Watt? And everybody should know the answer because it almost happened. Sorry, guys. I know. I just hurt everyone's feelings in this room outside. Not.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. No, you know what he means.
Yeah.
Garrett.
Think about it, Garrett.
Think about it.
Think about Garrett.
No,
Think about
I-
the sack.
I'm gonna surprise everybody here on my next pick. By the way,
You're talking about the 2021 Super Bowl.
think
I'm
you
not an idiot.
Indeed.
I'm gonna
Okay,
take Dalton Kincaid.
Yep.
Great pick, dude.
That's a good pick.
I got Josh Allen,
Yeah.
and he's gonna
Damn
throw the
you.
ball to Dalton Kincaid.
This is
Simple
true.
as that.
This is,
So
Yeah, that's a
That
simple
might be-
math.
Might be wide receiver 1, honestly.
and two.
and two.
Phil lost his
All three of
pick.
So tight ends are
Guys,
falling off the
I
board
was
now.
worried about the tight ends
Why
not
didn't I
making it
take a
back.
tight
to
end
me.
earlier?
I'm telling you, if you
I
don't
took
get
one.
if you don't get one of those big 5, it's just sitting
Just
waiting.
might
I
as well
was
get
there
him off
last
the
year.
waiver
It was
wire.
ugly.
That's
Dude,
yeah.
I was like, no way, both the tight ends I want go in the 2 picks before me, right?
I had a feeling you would want a tight end, Phil, so I was like, I'm just going to get my combo and go happy with it, and I'll get my flex on the comeback around.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really happy with my team. This is concerning because you're never supposed to leave the draft happy
I
with
was
your
gonna
team.
say, is anyone
Right.
like super happy with their team
Yes,
so far?
this is like my dream draft.
I'm okay with it.
I'm fine with it.
I wish I had a better quarterback.
Pretty thrilled with
I
mine.
don't
I
even
won't
have
lie.
one yet.
Yeah, not everybody can have Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But
I was looking at him.
so moving on, going to talk about the AFC North, since obviously this is a division that we all care about.
You have some investment in.
Yeah. So our buddy Logan Fulmer, who was on our show back in the NFL draft, correct? Or was it the NBA draft?
NBA draft.
NBA draft. He writes for TWSN, and he created an article about the biggest questions for the AFC North. So we're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens. How will their offensive line hold up? Ben mentioned it earlier. They have 3 new starters. Left guard Andrew Voorhees hasn't played an NFL regular game after sitting out his rookie year due to a knee injury. Daniel Fahali, who is in a new position, and Patrick McCarty, who is a veteran presence but only played 36 games over his 5 years. Is anybody concerned about that? Obviously, we all passed on Lamar, so there had to be a little bit concerned, well, except for Alex. So a little bit concerned there, but is it a major concern to the point of you think that the Ravens will not live up to the hype? We'll start with you, Colton, because I know you're not a big believer in that.
You know my answer. I don't have them in the playoffs. I think we saw this story when Lamar won the MVP in 2020, was it? Did he win it? Or 2019?
20, I think.
It was 19.
19? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then that next season in 2020, they lost a couple offensive linemen, and we saw the regression. And a lot of that comes down to injury and stuff too. But yeah, I'm not very high on the Ravens' offensive line. I think that's a very key part as a run-centric team. To your team is the offensive line and their ability to open the gaps and whatnot. And I don't think they have that this year, and I think that's going to make a huge difference from last year this year.
Sam Francis in the chat says Colton team sucks.
Yeah, I saw that. I chose to ignore it.
I didn't, 'cause I thought it was funny.
I'm going to go ahead and take Tank Dell here. So all the 3 Houston wide receivers are gone. But what about you, Ben? What do you think about Baltimore?
I mean, obviously they got a lot of weapons on offense, though, but the main concern is the offensive line. I mean, like I said earlier in the show, they lost Moses, they lost Simpson. These are 2 guys that protected Lamar really well. So, and we all know how Lamar's game is. He loves to run the ball, and I feel like that's gonna have a negative effect if these guys can't step up. So, and especially with Derrick Henry, another guy who likes to run the ball. I mean, arguably the best running back in the NFL. So, yeah. As of right now, I am a little concerned for that offensive line.
All right, moving on, we'll talk about our beloved Cincinnati Bengals, and I'll throw it over to the only person I know is a bigger homer than me, Phil. Did the Bengals do enough to fix and or improve their defensive line after losing DJ Reader?
Man, I was never like a huge Sheldon Rankins guy. Sorry. I think they're kind of banking on their former draft picks to really step up. I think that's what has to happen for their D-line to elevate. So, in short, I don't think they did do enough in the offseason to address the D-line. But I feel confident in guys stepping up.
Fair enough.
Oh, shit.
We'll throw it to the Steeler fan on that one. Do you think the Bengals did enough at all? Or
I don't really think so either. They have a lot of talent on the defensive line, which really confuses me why it's not good. Like 25th in rush defense, and let's see, what else did I have here? Middle of the pack in sacks. It should be a lot better with the line that you all have. So I don't see it getting better, honestly.
Yeah, and that's concerning, and it's part of the reason why I have them missing the playoffs, which I know I got a lot of crap for.
Take off that chair.
Has the audacity to show up in Bengals gear.
You know what? Part of this business is not being a homer.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
so moving on to the Cleveland Browns, which none of us want to talk about. What
Justin Tucker off the
Wait,
It's the first time fantasy guy.
Wait, who took the kicker?
I did.
Oh, Ben. Ben, remember the chat we had before the draft started? Don't take the kicker and don't take the defense.
Well, it's in there already.
There is no going back.
Bro wanted to lock down those 60-plus yard field goals. Those are automatic points for Ben now.
Oh, I love it. You know what? Yeah. If you're gonna take a kicker, take the greatest of all time.
He got the best kicker in the NFL. There is no doubt there.
All right.
Rodrigo Blankenship.
All right, presidential picking the homer pick.
He was on my board.
He is the only option.
Just I
for
have
wide
a
receiver, so
He's awesome.
I have a question for you, Alex.
Go for it.
What is your opinion on George Pickens? Because I know he had some attitude problems last year, and then I know he was kind of like was he the wide receiver one for them?
yeah,
For the most part,
for sure. Yeah.
What do you see from him this season? What do you see? What are you expecting from him this season?
If it's not big numbers, it's a big problem for the Steelers. The big wide receiver acquisitions this offseason were Scotty Miller and Van Jefferson.
Who?
So I do not have a lot of hope
I know Van Jefferson.
for this
I know
wide
Van
receiver
Jefferson.
room. So I'm expecting a huge year for him, and that's why I decided to pick him because I think he'll be wide receiver one and get a lot of targets.
That's fair. I agree with that take wholeheartedly. I loved watching him when he played at Georgia. I just think, he was a Georgia Bulldog, and he epitomized the phrase of he has that dog in him.
Yeah.
So I love the energy that he plays with. So even though I don't like the Steelers, I'm looking forward to seeing what Pickens does this season with Russ throwing him the ball.
He certainly can be a diva at times, but there's going to be nobody competing for touches, so
Right.
he'll be all right this year.
Yeah.
Another interesting pick just went off the board.
Uh-huh.
One I love to talk about. Colton. Kyle Pitts.
Dang it, Colton! That was my sleeper guy. I wanted him so bad.
I'm falling for the trap again, folks. How long has he been in the league? 4 years?
Yeah, I think this is
3, I think, right?
This is year 3.
I think this is year 3.
Okay.
This is year
well,
4,
then,
Phil?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
you're
Well,
4.
then 3 of the 4 years I have fallen for this trap, and I'm falling for it one more time. He's got Kirk Cousins throwing to him. He's got a new offense, or at least a new coach. I think he's going to get targets this year. I think he's actually going to get the ball. And we've seen flashes. When he does get the ball, it looks pretty. So I am very happy in the 8th round getting Kyle Pitts.
I'm going to say
this is the year.
Outside Patrick Mahomes.
This is the
Outside Patrick Mahomes, the only quarterback who may love their tight end more is Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
Kirk Cousins loves throwing the tight end to football.
Yep.
So
Jordan Reed in his career, he had as a top tight end. T.J. Hawkinson over the last year, he had as one of the top tight ends. I mean, it's now or never. Like you said, it's now or absolutely never. I don't hate that pick at all. No Dalton Kincaid, but I don't hate that pick at all.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see.
But quickly, just talking about the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
What is the offensive plan with Chubb coming off a major injury? They didn't really fix the running back room. It is Jerome Ford, Pierre Strong, and Deontay Foreman. However, Deontay Foreman had a preseason injury with his neck, which you never want to see.
No.
Amari Cooper is a year older, kind of a head case. Elijah Moore hasn't been able to stay healthy. Jerry Jeudy, in and out depending on. So, I mean, stud offensive line and still have Deshaun Watson. Is anyone buying the Browns here?
No.
I'm going to say silence is very loud at this room.
No,
I'm taking.
The
I'm just reading
Browns-
Henry's not happy with me.
The Browns are totally relying on Deshaun Watson to progress.
Yes.
Somebody who had a 42.9 quarterback rating last year.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
7-4 touchdown to interception ratio. And he only played 6 games. So if you're worried about health and how he plays, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
And, I mean, hopefully it's only 4 weeks
Yeah.
that Chubb's out. But if it's any longer, they're toast.
And let's
in
be
the
honest.
beginning.
That injury is a knee again. So
Yeah.
are we sure he's even going to be able to come back?
Is it
Like,
a good
is it
point.
the same knee or is it the other knee?
no, it's the same knee.
It's the same knee.
Yeah,
Because I
that-
know that was a pretty gruesome injury the first time.
It's the third injury he's basically had
Is
on
that the
that knee.
third on that knee?
Yeah.
That's. I don't know if you can come back a third
I was
time.
about to say, I know he had already hurt both knees already. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This,
Like,
this is like Alex Smith type stuff.
Yeah.
If he comes back and has the same level of performance that he did.
I'm going to say if he comes back and he is even half of what he is,
Yeah.
he's still the best running back on the team. So,
Absolutely.
Does he win comeback player of the year?
I mean,
he better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's other people that apparently they already have their name written in there, but
you mean every quarterback, period.
right. But yeah, Chenry,
Alex
you're
Smith should
welcome.
win
By the
comeback player
way,
of the century.
he wasn't pleased with my Kyle Pitts pick. So
I don't think anybody was.
By the way,
it's weird people wanting Kyle Pitts. To be honest, I
this
thought
is
I was
my,
making
Really?
a clown for
No,
it.
dude, I
Arthur
love
Smith
Kyle
is gone,
Pitts.
so that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the reason I picked him.
This is my
How
breakout
do you
player,
feel?
by the way. I love this guy. I'm taking Jackson Smith Najigba.
Dang it.
Absolute going to be a stud in Seattle, taking over as the number 2 with Lockett banged up a little bit, and I love Najigba.
I was
You had a
between.
chance. You had a chance to get him, Garrett.
I was between him and Worthy, and I figured Patrick Mahomes throwing Worthy the ball versus Geno Smith throwing Smith and Jigma the ball. So I went with, history.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
All right, another kicker off the board.
Oh, wait a
fine,
minute. Ben
man.
took your defense, too. Okay, Ben.
So Ben was not listening whatsoever.
Ben took
I tried to find the flex and I couldn't.
The flex is just your wide receiver, running back, or tight end.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to
it's
tell
not,
you.
it's not a position. It's
Yeah.
one of those three. It's just your flex.
Okay.
Yeah.
So next time you're up, pick one of those three, and that'll just be your flex position.
Yeah, I was trying to whisper to you, but yeah, I mean, you still got the Browns.
Yeah, Browns a great defense. I'm more frustrated that he took the Browns than the fact that he took them so early.
Josh, I'm gonna follow up your sleeper with my sleeper in this year's draft.
Oh.
And Christian Kirk.
Okay.
I really
All right.
love
All right.
him as
Damn you.
T-Law's number 1.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of wide receiver ones on mediocre teams going now.
No, this is the area for such things.
Just
But yeah, so the last one here on Logan Fulmer's questions is, of course, the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Their question is, will the offense be good enough? Pretty good question there, to support an elite defense,
Full stop.
specifically the quarterback position. And I think we'll have our Steelers fan answer that question.
Well, the good news is Matt Canada's gone. I'm surprised nobody picked him up.
But-
Really shocked.
Yeah, shocked.
But Arthur Smith is here. Really hoping he is the Titans offensive
That's what I was about
coordinator
to
he
say.
was. That was like first in points and red zone touchdowns.
Yeah.
Instead of the Falcons one that was 16th in total offense and 21st in pass offense. So I don't really have high hopes, especially since we didn't really make any big offseason moves on the offensive end. Brandon Ayuk obviously would have been nice.
Yeah, when he.
But with the defense that's already struggling besides the pass rush, I don't have a lot of hope for this team being super successful this year, if I'm being completely honest with you all.
Do you think they break the streak of above 500?
I think with Tomlin, it's almost a guarantee. So I think they
Okay.
will still be at like 9-8. But that's the best I could see right now, unless Van Jefferson or Scotty Miller do something that I did not see.
Yeah.
Let me give you some numbers. Calvin
Yeah.
Austin, Van Jefferson, and Scotty Miller all combined last year for 443 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's it. So
Yeah,
That's a rough fantasy stat
What's your
line.
thought on Najee Harris versus Jalen Warren? And I'm asking that because I just drafted Jalen Warren.
Wait, Najee went before Warren?
Yeah, which I don't. No,
Yeah, it's-
Warren's a little banged up right now,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
scaring people.
Okay,
but he says
gotcha.
he's gonna. His words, he's playing week 1, and if he is playing, he's the best running back in Pittsburgh.
Warren's usually
also gonna take Nick Jibba.
has some injury issues. Feel like it's a lot closer than most people give credit for, but I do feel like Warren is the better of the two just because of his versatility about not having to only be between the tackles. He can be between the tackles when he runs, but he is a versatile back that can catch passes and get outside the numbers. So I would take him over Najee Harris if you made me pick, but I like that we have both.
Yeah, with the way the NFL is nowadays, you need 2 running backs.
Mhm.
The Bengals finally learned that. The problem was the Bengals didn't get 2 good ones. But I'm actually bullish on the Steelers. I think Russell Wilson is going to have a comeback player of the year type season.
If you've paid attention to our podcast at all, you
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah, and I mean, I may or may not, because we don't condone gambling over here, but I may
Would
or may
never.
not.
Never. Colton, Get us with the promo.
Condone gambling, but it took a plus 700 Pittsburgh Steelers to win the AFC North. So I am a believer of that.
Williams.
However, Jameson Williams just went off the board, and Ben, we have to have a conversation. What? I am a believer in Jameson
Are
Williams.
you reading my notes, Ben?
Maybe.
This is why I'm
kidding.
so
I'm kidding. I'm
You
kidding.
were also going to draft a defense and a kicker in the 6th and 7th round?
This is a great point. Going from that to picking Jameson Williams is a crazy twist.
Was
I
that
love
who
that
you were
pick,
trying
though.
to take, or is that who you tried to take? Because
That's-
I'm a big fan of Jameson Williams.
Yeah. Like I'm a big fan of him too. I mean, I like watching him at Alabama. I mean, we've seen flashes of him from last year with the Lions, and I feel like he's gonna fit into wide receiver 2 really well behind Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
He's
Great weapons all around him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's another Kyle Pitts type season. It's now or never for Jameson. If he doesn't
Right.
pull it off, Detroit's gonna look elsewhere for a number 2. But I love Jameson Williams almost as I love taking Jordan Love. Darn you. But I have Josh Allen, so I don't need a quarterback. But Jordan Love MVP, just in case anybody didn't know, plus 1,400 if you're
I'm
gambling.
a little salty about that pick, dude. That was my quarter. I was gonna take him, but he didn't fall.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, wait,
well.
does Phil not?
I
Oh,
missed
Phil does
that.
not have a quarterback yet.
I am-
Oh,
Go
I
on,
have
did you
just
just take
drafted
a
a-
second quarterback?
That's
No,
my first quarterback.
He
Phil.
He took the short king.
The
He did
short
it.
king is
He
mine.
did it.
I want nothing to do with the toddler.
Someone has 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah, Alex does,
Yeah.
which is actually very smart. If you got Lamar, get another stud in case Lamar gets hurt, and
This
he
is
got
true.
the MVP candidate in Jordan Love. I love that.
This is true.
Love the Jordan.
Not the MVP part,
Jordan Love.
but the
So.
backup pick.
Yeah. So
Yep.
Well, please
another.
no one else take a second quarterback.
Oh, I hope everybody takes the quarterback now. So you just
You've
get the
given
worst
me an
one.
idea.
Thanks, Phil. I wasn't thinking about it, but now that you say
I
it,
had absolutely no
I
quarterbacks
could
in my
probably
queue.
use a second quarterback because
Yeah.
short guys. He could or could not. It's a little bit of a jump, but we'll see.
Definitely did not have a quarterback in my queue, but now I will.
Yeah, he certainly has jumped in my
All
queue.
right, I will. You
Christian
brought up an
Watson.
excellent point of quarterbacks get injured.
They tend to
I was
get
just gonna go
injured.
ride or die
They
with
might
CJ
have-
Stroud.
They
but,
might have a rough,
yeah, I might
rough
need to.
matchup
might need to
where they
secure a
won't score
backup.
very much.
If it,
you
I'm
know.
saying, if it makes you feel any better, Phil, I am not taking a second quarterback. I don't do that.
Thank you.
So you can
Yeah.
have whatever's left and available. And Jaden Daniels, somebody please draft him. Brock
I wonder
Purdy,
who would do
Caleb
that.
Williams, Tua.
Not me.
So,
Garrett would never.
oh, that's right.
I genuinely think this man's gonna get snapped in half.
I mean, you did.
I
You did
genuinely
mention
think
that.
he's playing in the same division as Micah Parsons. One hit from Micah Parsons will literally, like Darth Maul, separate him in half. A spear tackle from Micah Parsons will go right through Jaden Daniels.
Nice.
Oh man.
Well,
Ben?
Garrett, you got some triple threat trivia questions for us?
No.
No, I had a feeling you didn't prepare for that.
No, I didn't even see that. I skipped that on the thing. I'm sorry.
I was
boys.
trying to get some points today.
We'll get. I'll to make up for it. I'll put 2 on our regular schedule or our regular recording. There we go.
Okay,
There's the word.
Yeah.
All right, so since we don't have that, we can just fill it in. Did anybody watch a little bit of college football this weekend?
Yes.
I
Too
watched a
much.
wee bit.
A wee bit. What is one thing that stood out to you outside Genty that you mentioned, and of course Ben Herbstreit, the greatest dog in the world.
Of course.
What stood out to you?
Colton, you
What?
forced my hand. I didn't want to do it, but because you took Kyle Pitts, I took Brock Bowers.
Well, okay.
I didn't get to answer for the I didn't
He
get
got
to
you
answer.
there, Colton.
No, I didn't get to answer for the tight end start bench cut, but I would absolutely start Brock Bowers because I think this kid is once in a generation talent.
So Sam Laporta's proven it. That's why he would start for
Throwing
me.
it to him though.
Well, I have
Better
I have
than
Sam
a
Laporta.
toddler.
I got Sam Laporta
Dude.
and
So I'm just going to hear about this
Who did I just
every
draft?
week until Kyler Murray just goes
Oh,
off.
you know he's throwing for 6 touchdowns
Brock
a week. He
Bowers.
plays.
Oh,
me.
he better. Oh, he better.
But no, college football wise, anybody
Yes.
got a headline or anybody they want to specifically talk about? Because there's one team I would love to talk about.
Yeah. I have a feeling I know who.
Mike Norvell.
Yeah, DJ Go get a job. Get out of Tallahassee while you still have all your body parts. They are going to kill you.
They're going to quarter him.
I mean, we haven't seen a fall off in a team going from national championship contenders to whatever this is since, Clemson went from Trevor Lawrence to DJU.
Funny the commonalities.
No, that game last night, it was kind of a bore fest. But what a great start for Bill O'Brien in Boston College.
Yeah.
Had the ball, I want to say, for 25 of the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a crazy stat like that.
Unbelievable job by Bill O'Brien to say, okay, well, the best thing we can do is just keep Florida State's defense on the field.
It's so funny.
And just wear them down.
It's so funny to me that Bill O'Brien is the head coach at Boston College because I feel like he's just going to pull from that well of knowledge, given that he's right down the road from Foxborough. Like he's so used to being an NFL coach that he's going to run Boston College like an NFL team, and I think that Boston College might shock a few people in the ACC because of the way Bill O'Brien coaches. Also, Thomas Castellanos,
Dog.
he's an incredible quarterback.
Even if he is also a toddler. He's literally 5'8", guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he's 5'8", but he ran for like 150 yards against supposedly one of the best defenses in the ACC. Obviously, that's not true, but...
No, absolutely. But he's just very, very small.
Something that stood out for me, though. Well, actually, I'll talk about the negative one first. Oregon struggling against Idaho.
Yeah,
Me and Ben over here are kind of shaking. We think these guys are natties.
Yep.
And they're struggling to Idaho. I mean, there's something to be said about.
Seconds.
Yeah, I know.
Where do you go? You went with Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
QB.
Yeah, it's a QB.
Right.
But yeah, I worry a little bit. There's something to be said. You just get out of the gates. You're not ready, especially when you're playing Idaho week 1. You just don't have that intensity that you need.
Right.
They looked good to start the game, and then I tuned out, and next thing I know, it's 17-14 or something like that. And I do worry about them. But another team I want to talk about, former Pac-12, is USC. I think they looked really good on both ends of the field. I heard Garrett.
What? I said nothing.
I heard, you made a noise.
That wasn't me. I was doing. Oh shit!
I heard it.
I was doing draft stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think USC, and Garrett could probably agree, I think they looked last year. I feel like LSU would have dropped like 40 or 50 on them, and it probably would have been 40-50 both ways. But I felt USC, especially with that new defensive coordinator, UCLA's in there, I think their defense definitely looked different from last year.
USC or UCLA?
USC. UCLA's coordinator came in to USC.
Gotcha.
USC.
I apologize.
Yeah. So anyway, I think him coming in and looking, or that defense looking good is definitely something to watch out for. They'll have a decently easy schedule for the Big Ten.
They have to go to Michigan. They get Penn State at home, and then people are hyping up Nebraska, but I'm not there yet on Nebraska.
We'll see about that.
There is a legit chance due to Oregon and Ohio State having to play each other. If USC can run the table, they're definitely in, but they could lose one and still get into the Big Ten championship, knocking out Oregon or Ohio State, which, if you remember, during our previous show, I mentioned is probably going to happen. I just thought it'd be Penn State, but that USC team, Miller Moss, he's good.
October 12th.
Jets
October
defense
12th,
is off
another
the board.
special game on October 12th.
Cannot wait for that weekend.
Beautiful. It makes me blush just thinking about it.
I do have a question for you all.
Okay.
I don't know if it was
Chase Brown.
I don't know if it was one of you all. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong altogether. But I think you all were high on Virginia Tech this year. And how are we feeling after that Vanderbilt game?
I mean, that was definitely shocking to see them perform like that. Against Vanderbilt. I mean, we obviously talked about it. I think that they're going to win the ACC this year. I still believe that. I mean, I feel like they're going to be much more motivated coming into this week after that Vanderbilt loss. But I still believe in this team. They got a lot of experience. And a lot of veterans, so I'm not concerned at all.
I'm going to say that's the one thing. It was a non-conference loss, so it doesn't affect as much as what it used to.
Mm-hmm. And Vanderbilt looked good. I think they may scare a couple people in the SEC.
Vanderbilt looks nice.
Diego Pavia?
Yeah, he looks really good. And I think that team and any other conference is a middle to maybe even top of the conference team. I think they looked very, very nice. in that first game. I'll probably keep an eye on them next week, whoever they're playing.
Texas also looked really good, which concerns me. Arch Manning got in the second half.
Are we gonna run through those games that you set aside for us?
That'll be tomorrow.
Okay.
Or Thursday.
All right, bet.
So yeah, you know what? It gives us an opportunity. I'll do a cheap plug since Colton's busy with his picks. We're also going to be doing pick'em type shows. A 6-pack pick'em for college football, 6-pack pick'em for the NFL, and those are going to be coming in shorts. 10, 15-minute episodes, real easy to follow, kind of like they do on College Game Day. So we'll be taking care of that later on this week. And of course, we also, since the three of us are NASCAR nerds, we'll be talking some NASCAR playoffs coming up and giving our predictions of what's going to be coming up there, as we're very much looking forward to a NASCAR playoff being wide open as my chair drops for some reason.
Hey, Kyler, how you doing?
Oh, that is so good. Oh, man.
Clip that chat, clip it.
That was a good one, Garrett.
Oh, that was good. That's getting clipped. Oh,
Need it
man.
everywhere, Chad. Need it everywhere.
Oh, man. But yeah, no, that all will be coming up this week. So we got a lot of stuff coming for you. So we appreciate your support. Anybody who's got in here and listened to us talk for quite a bit, we greatly appreciate, as well as we're about 3/4 of the way through the draft.
Yep.
So
Get into the nitty gritty.
yeah, Ben, you're on the clock.
All right.
I think it's because I took Tua. That's why your chair started falling.
Oh,
You took two, and that narrows my
I
decision.
actually kind of wanted him as my backup.
That narrows my decision down.
So.
So you took both quarterbacks that Josh hates, Colton. Is this a strategy?
It's quite a strategy.
100%.
Because when I play against him,
I don't know, you can't
get
play two
beat,
quarterbacks, but if you could, they both will go off that week for like 10 touchdowns.
I'll put him in the flex,
QB flex.
QB flex.
Hey, that's a real league. Two QBs is a real league, because then you can't wait on quarterbacks.
This is very true.
Let's see.
Also, I took Jonathan Brooks. What do you guys think about that one?
I don't hate it, because he is going to be the guy in Carolina.
Absolutely.
But the injuries, obviously, to start, well, he'll have to get healthy. But I don't hate it at all. I don't know if you guys got any takes on Jonathan Brooks.
Not really seeing much out of Carolina anyway, so I don't think they have many other options. So yeah, I don't mind it either.
Yeah.
I talked about this guy earlier. He's gonna piss off a few people. Bucky Irving.
Thanks.
Oh, all
thanks.
right.
I love the college photo. That's the best part of it.
I'll tell you what, though, man. He is very good. I think he's the best running back in Tampa Bay, honestly, which I know probably doesn't make
Phil?
Phil happy.
I
Phil
might
took
get.
him, right?
No, I took him.
Oh, you took?
No,
No.
Phil took White.
White.
Yeah, Phil took Rashad White. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure I just picked Bucky Irving.
Which, by the way, Ben, thank you earlier for making my pick easier for this time around. Ben took Chase Brown, so as a return, I'm going to take the actual better running back in Cincinnati and take Zach Moss. But it's one of those things, honestly, looking at that backfield in every draft I've been in, I just want to take the second guy. Yeah. So if some Chase Brown got taken first, I'm taking Zach Moss. If Zach Moss got taken first, I'll take Chase Brown. I didn't want to have to make the decision on who's going to be the guy. I'm just going to take the second guy and be like, oh, well, the real guy wasn't available for me.
Right.
Because
it makes you feel better about yourself.
So what made you go Chase over Zach?
I mean, obviously, Chase Brown, we've seen a lot of flashes of him from last year, and I feel like he's going to be so strong in that run game this year. And, I'm just looking forward to seeing it for sure.
Yeah, I wanted to take Chase Brown. I was a little frustrated Ben took him, but
I'm sorry, bro.
No, it's fantasy football. No, with Chase Brown, I feel like he's going to be more of a wide receiver, or not wide receiver, but more of a passing threat, to where in a PPR league, I think that would definitely benefit to get Chase Brown over Zach Moss. But we'll just see how it all works out. 'Cause that's the thing. You just have no clue what this running back room is going to look like. We haven't seen either. Well, we've seen Zach Moss get some good touches, but we haven't seen Chase Brown with good touches. We've seen him in limited moments where he looked pretty good, showed flashes. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Henry with the second kicker off the board.
Oh, McPherson.
Money Mac.
All right.
McPherson. You'll probably be kicking a lot of
And I see
field goals.
Phil took the chance on Nick Chubb. Phil.
Yeah, dude. I know we have an IR spot in this league, so I'm just going to stash him there for a couple weeks. You never
That's
know,
fair.
you know.
Gives
Even
you
if
some
he comes
mobility.
back as half the dude, I'm gonna want to have him.
All right,
That's a
Colton.
great point.
Colton, you know him the best. Chenry takes Zeke.
Oh, Chenry.
I mean, I
have
don't
you
want
been
to.
following
I
Zeke?
don't dislike it.
I don't
he
want
might have
anything to
just-
do with those running
He
backs.
might have just recognized
No.
the name, guys. He got to the
We're at
bottom.
names now.
Chenry, give us an explanation in the chat. Why Zeke? Why
Phil-
Zeke?
Phil,
I'll
what
let
you
him
say? What you
speak
say?
for
Zeke
himself.
actually did do pretty good in New England last year with the touches he had.
Yeah.
He averaged over 5 a carry, I think 5.1, and he still had I want to say 10 touchdowns, but I may be wrong on that.
You gotta take Alex on the wonderful world of Zeke.
Jerry Jones is great at his job for getting rid
A
of
sentence that should never be said.
getting
That's
rid
what
of
Jerry
quality
said.
running backs and bringing in the skeleton of Ezekiel Elliott.
Don't forget Dalvin Cook also.
Oh yeah, I keep
How
forgetting
could
him.
Fossil.
This is going to be such a difference maker. I can't wait to watch it.
By the way, I'm taking the ultimate homer pick right here. You know what's better than drafting one Bengal, gentlemen?
Two.
Drafting 11 of them. I'll take the Bengals defense.
That's more than two.
Look,
We're so confident
Look,
in the answer.
week one versus the Patriots. It's the best matchup on the schedule.
Okay.
Not that Vegas knows anything, but it's also the largest spread of 8.5. I'm just saying it's a smart move.
Yep.
Get the Bengals early. And they will be dropped week 2 when they play the Chiefs.
Gone forever.
I was about to say I'm in a pick'em league, and I definitely took the Bengals week 1.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
mean,
easiest matchup too.
Yeah.
Call right
If you
there.
don't win that game, just sell the whole team.
Yeah, there's no Joe Burrow can be bad in these starting weeks here. That's not possible.
Yeah, no, those schedule is very favorable for the Bengals.
For sure.
Should be 3-1, I would say, starting out. Before I want to say they go to Baltimore maybe for that Thursday night game, but that might be a little bit later in the year. But I do like them as an early starter and figuring out there. So it might be one of those things where I even just waste a bench spot in week 2, find a different defense, and then keep the Bengals for the following 3 weeks. Because they have, again, like you mentioned, very winnable games those following 3 weeks.
Yep.
Anytime you're at home also, you got to take advantage.
So we have a report from Chenry.
Oh,
Oh,
He
boy.
says, "No joke, my finger slipped."
Oh, no.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Well, hopefully. No, I don't even know what to say there. I'm sorry for your loss, sir. And he also then later commented, "The Bengals will suck week 1."
I mean, they can't, right?
He's speaking from experience. However, they are playing the Patriots, so even if they suck, I have faith. I think the Patriots will outsuck the Bengals suck, and hopefully we get the suck out
just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop while you're ahead.
before
Family friendly.
Anyway,
before the Chiefs.
Yoshi vops to Ben.
All right, Benjamin.
All right, so Ben's a
Sir.
homer.
I think there'd be a couple more receivers I'd pick before
Yeah, a
him.
wee bit, yeah.
I mean,
see
you got to
one.
think though, for at least 1 week matchup, if Jamar doesn't play,
Yeah,
Yoshi's
yeah.
going to be on the field.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't hate
That's
it.
a good point.
I don't hate it.
That's
And
a good
plus,
point.
he's another guy that we saw flashes with last year in Cincinnati, and I feel like he's going to take that next step, and he's actually my breakout player of the year.
I mean, Joe has said that. I mean, Joe says he expects a very big year out of him, so
Yeah.
getting him involved will be key. A better defense just went off the board in the Niners, which would have been better than the Bengals. But, you know, what are you
Alex.
going to do there? Nice job, Alex.
Thanks.
I don't think there's really much explanation needed for the Niners
No.
defense getting drafted. But this is our favorite time around, so we're going to go ahead and start. Hey, Phil, you got a hot take for us today?
Yes. I had one
He's-
really
he's
good lined up.
menacely
and-
said
okay,
that.
I got it. Yeah,
All
it
right,
came
all
back.
right,
You know,
Is it another one that wasn't on the schedule that you got a week behind and decided to pick, or is this actually a hot take that is supposed to be said now?
right now.
Okay.
This is the one. I think this is the year that a wide receiver in the NFL goes for over 2,000 yards. I don't know if that's
You aren't the
super
first one
hot,
to say
but
that. You aren't the first one to say that.
I want to
Who do you-
pick a receiver,
You
but
don't?
I
No,
think it's going to be
that
number
hot
two.
take makes you pick a wide receiver. You got to
Yeah,
pick
you
one.
got to pick
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
You got to
see
pick
a wide
one, dude.
receiver.
Yeah.
Well, I picked him at number 2, C.D. Lamb.
That's
How
fair.
about that?
Okay.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm
All
going
right.
to say Ben was the one who actually mentioned the 2,000 wide receiver in Tyreek Hill because that was his offense player of the year, I believe.
Yes.
So Ben was the one with the 2,000 yard. And I don't think that's a hot take. I think it's going to happen with the 17-game schedule, and then with the rumor of the 18-game schedule coming also, it's definitely going to happen sooner rather than later.
Alex,
Yeah.
sorry to cut you off, but
What's
I'm
up?
on the clock. Who do you guys play week 1?
The Falcons.
Never mind.
He was looking at defenses. He was like, there's not a good
peek.
There's not a good matchup the rest of the way. The Cardinals get like the Giants, and it's just like bad teams are playing bad teams. The Bengals lucked out.
I'll stick in Pittsburgh though with my backup tight end.
Yeah, Freiermuth. I like
Okay,
Freiermuth.
nice. I do
a
like
good
that pick.
That's
I
a
like
good
that pick a lot more than the Pittsburgh defense
Oh, do you?
because we like to say that Pittsburgh is an elite defense, but it's just the pass rush. The secondary is terrible,
Yeah.
especially with Minka Fitzpatrick, who can't stay healthy.
So if we were to combine your pass rush with our secondary, it would be like good, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's possible. Let us just have Watt.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Okay, I tried.
It was worth a shot.
It
was
was
worth a shot.
You're almost on the clock, so I'll hold off. So I'll throw it over to Colton since you just picked. Do you have a hot take for us today?
A hot take would probably be if I were to branch off from Phil, I think Tua is going to get Tyreek Hill to 2,000 yards and win MVP.
Tua
And that is
MVP.
why I selected him.
Tua MVP.
See, I got another tiny hot take. I think if a wide receiver goes for 2,000 yards, I think he's going to win MVP.
The wide receiver does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I sure would hope, man. That's
Ah,
such
It's just a
feat.
quarterback award, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
it
quarterback
really
award,
is. It
unfortunately.
is.
If
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey didn't win it last year, nobody outside of
Didn't
QB.
Derrick Henry run for 2,000 yards and not win MVP also?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
I agree that it should be the case that that 2,000 yards should be a benchmark for a running back or wide receiver to get that, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily see it happening. But yeah, that's the one that came to mind to me is the Tua. Definitely a hot take. Maybe not necessarily the take that I'm going out and charging with, but hot take off the top of my head. I think I made one last week. Jordan Love for MVP as well. So
all right, my hot take after the news that there is a punt returner who is apparently the elite running back in the Rams offense. He will succeed and give rights to Blake Corum, your rookie of the year. Oh, and my next pick. Not biased at all. Not biased at all. Not biased at all. No,
absolutely
not
not.
a Michigan fan.
yeah.
Nothing to do with that at all.
No.
But
Henry says the Bengals will win 3-0 this week.
hey, shutout gets me 10 points. That's fine by me.
Yeah.
Alex, you got a hot take for us.
I had a few that I was trying to pick between. The one I decided to stay on was the Texans would be the last undefeated team this season. I don't think they're going to go the full season being undefeated, but I think they will certainly be the last one. I just think this team is way too talented not to have a good start to the year, and they have a pretty favorable schedule, at least through, I think it was week 6 when I was looking at it. So I think this will be the last undefeated team.
Funny enough, that was my original hot take, but not the Texans. It was a certain team in Pittsburgh. And I said it last week on the show, and they laughed at me. But I truly believe,
still laughing this week.
truly believe the Pittsburgh Steelers will be the last undefeated team in the NFL.
I pray
Wow.
you're right. That would be so good.
But I want you to know, I had them going 11-6, and I had them starting 9-0.
That's fair.
Those
Back in
last 10
collapse.
games
Yeah.
that they have is brutal.
It really is, yeah.
So, Ben, you got a hot take for us?
Yeah, hot take. So I know I said this last week on the show, but I think Caleb Williams will break the rookie receiving record this season.
Wait.
Or
Receiving
or
record?
passing record.
Okay,
Passing
I was
record.
gonna say,
I'm
that'd be
sorry.
That is a hot take.
No.
That's quite
Passing
the hot
record.
take. Taysom Hill off the board, by the way.
Yeah.
Taysom Hill gone. Love
Now
that pick.
he's just picking names.
Love
Now he's
that
just
pick.
picking names.
I
That
don't
was
know.
Chenry.
I like that pick as a flex pick, honestly.
Yeah.
He just does everything.
Okay.
And plus, with the team that he's going to be a part of this year, I mean, they got a lot of weapons on offense that he can throw to. So I'm looking forward to it for sure.
I was thinking my last undefeated team is probably not too much of a hot take. I believe when I was going through doing predictions throughout the year, I think the Eagles was the last team I had as undefeated, which I think they had a fairly easy start other than the Packers, and I also think they're the most talented team in the NFC. So
By the way, whoever, it was Chenry. Chenry, when McCaffrey does that one thing that nobody wants to talk about, let me know. I just drafted Jordan Mason, his backup running back. You're gonna need him.
Give Josh a call. You have his number. So now I'm down. I don't get any more fun. I just have to draft a defense and a kicker.
All right, boys. We're gonna go with a MVP of the program here.
Young Ho is off the board.
Young Ho's off the board.
There is no more coup out there. Chenry needed a backup tight end. You know, that's fair. We all need one.
I don't have a backup quarterback or tight end.
You're not going for that?
No, I never do in the leagues like this. You just kind of figure it out on bye weeks. Both of them are week 12. By that time, I'll figure it out. However, I will say this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 starters on bye week of week 12.
I haven't even been paying attention to that. What week is going to be the week of hell for me? Week 11 is going to be the week of hell for me.
Yeah, that's always fun to look at and see.
Yeah, week 11, 12, or 14. I'm kind of spaced out pretty evenly there.
11's not too bad because 2 of them are on my bench, so that'll be okay.
Let's see. You said you had a few hot takes, Alex. Oh, you're on the clock, so I don't want to rudely interrupt there. Garrett, you got a hot take at all? Or is that something also you missed, because your one job is trivia?
Yes, exactly. I guess I don't know if it could be considered a hot take, but my personal opinion is that I think Baker Mayfield's going to ball out after he got that contract with Tampa Bay. So I think now that he said it himself, he's come out and said he's finally thinks he's found a home. So I hope that Baker Mayfield turns into the quarterback we all expected him to be coming out of Oklahoma.
I mean, anytime that a guy who leaves Cleveland balls out, I will be happy because it makes Cleveland look even worse when Deshaun Watson
that
is
was the
not
point
good.
I was thinking about making earlier was, it'd be really nice for the Browns right now. Baker Mayfield and his perfect passer rating he had that one game.
Yeah.
If Baker Mayfield is in Cleveland, the Browns are the best team in the AFC North, right? Like, without question.
Maybe the best roster.
Yeah.
I don't know about the best team.
No?
I don't know if that makes any sense.
No,
but,
I get what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. They gave him away for
I think
a 5th round pick or something.
Something silly like that. I don't know. I think it would. I think it makes it a lot closer if Baker's in Cleveland. I think Cleveland. Cleveland already has the potential to compete in the AFC North. I mean, we've seen it with that defense. So yeah, getting that piece at quarterback would be certainly nice for them to have. I don't know if they'd run away with the division just because of the way that the North is set up, just because of the way the North is structured roster-wise, but I think it'd be a lot closer.
Colton took his favorite 8-8-1 defense in the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, I did.
It's not a bad pick.
Would you like to know why I picked them?
I'm assuming they're playing a really bad team in week
They
1.
are playing the Panthers week 1.
Oh, another topic.
God, this guy. I cannot wait till Kyler drops a whole 50-piece on me.
I'll tell you, if Kyler Murray is what beats me in our matchup, I will buy a Kyler Murray jersey and I will wear it.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Okay.
All right.
You heard it
I
here
have to look at the
first.
schedule to know when that's coming up.
Yeah, if Kyler Murray is the reason why you beat me, or even better yet, if Kyler Murray, could be a fair? We'll figure something out for Kyler Murray and in bet. Like, him and Bryce Young are the exact same guy. I don't buy them. They're not good. And yeah, I fall into the height trap, and it's a lazy comparison. But I think it's a very fair. It's a fair comparison. They can't see over their offensive line, so I mean,
I don't think the comparison between Kyler Murray and Bryce Young is fair. I get saying that Bryce Young is short and that Bryce Young isn't that good of a quarterback because we haven't seen that yet. But we have seen it from Kyler Murray when he has a DeAndre Hopkins, when he has a Tyler. We saw a difference in that Arizona team last season when he came back. Night and day, from a team that, they sure fight hard, to a team that won a couple games, snuck a couple games away from top teams, shot themselves in the foot, but they got Marvin Harrison Jr., who I really like and think could be that D-Hop type player. Maybe not year 1, but eventually.
I'm
So-
on backup.
Oh,
Totally
Baker.
random fun fact here.
Uh-huh.
The shortest quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl was Russell
Josh
Wilson.
Northcutt.
No, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, 5'11".
It was Russell Wilson. I knew that one. That would have been an easy trivia question.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
isn't he one of your favorite quarterbacks?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is, which is funny. What? I was literally a fan of him at NC State, and then he went to Wisconsin, and I became a big fan of him. And I wanted him in Cincinnati around that time, which I want a lot of players in Cincinnati. So that
Just
doesn't
about
matter
every
much.
player that's not on Cincinnati.
Yeah.
How many times has that been uttered on this show?
Way too many.
It's
You know,
a
if we could
running
just draft
theme.
better, it would be fantastic. But I will say, I heard yesterday apparently 10 rookies made the Bengals roster this year. Is anybody a little concerned about that? Because for a team that's supposed to be competing now, that's a lot of young talent that's probably not playing.
Yeah.
It's a little worryful, but I don't know. I'm cool with it.
Actually, you can keep it right there because I got to ask Phil. Phil, have you heard that if Jamar signs, Burton's going to be a healthy scratch?
What?
Tell me who you sit out of the wide receiver core.
You get 5 or something? Is that how
Usually
many
you only
bring?
carry 5.
Okay, so you're bringing
Chase.
Chase, Higgins,
Higgins,
Yoshi.
Erwin and
Uh,
Charlie.
You think Charlie Jones
I
ever?
feel
He's
like
the punt, he's
I'd
the
ra-
punt returner and kick returner, so he has to be on the team.
I was gonna say that's not like a separate thing.
Nope.
Okay,
He's going to be
Yeah.
a healthy scratch if
You're on the
Jamar
clock,
plays.
Phil.
That's
You
crazy.
spend a third-round pick on a healthy scratch when you're trying to compete. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, honestly, I'd be fine putting him over Charlie Jones and maybe one of
Tyler
them
Boyd
can
with the
take over.
final pick in the fantasy draft. Sorry to
There
cut
it
you
is.
off.
Mr.
I was just
Irrelevant.
announcing.
Mr.
Mr. Irrelevant
Irrelevant.
is Tyler Boyd this season. I like that as a last pick, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, D Hop might have injury issues, so he might have to slot into that wide receiver too.
Yeah, because I think they still got, unfortunately, Traylon Burks as their number 4, who was never, ever going to break
Yeah.
out to be what they wanted.
And we know Boyd can be a sure-handed target for a young quarterback, and they have
Absolutely.
that in Will Levis. So honestly, Tyler Boyd, that's a great pick, Chenry.
Yep.
Some other picks you made, but you got the first pick, so we'll see how that all works out. But now that the draft is officially over, let's look at some of these teams. Where should we start?
We'll just go with the guys that we have here, and it'd probably be easier if everybody just runs down their team.
Yeah.
What
Sure.
you think?
Sure.
Yep.
Anybody want to specifically start?
I guess I'll start, or does one of our guests want to?
I'm curious to hear Ben's team.
We'll save the best for last.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Let's save the
that's
best for
true.
last.
That's true.
He's
You
the
wanna go
Ben's
through the
best
order
team,
we
so
drafted?
best
Okay.
goes last.
Oh,
alright?
that's. Do you want to just go in the order we drafted?
That would be
Yeah.
more sense.
That makes,
so, yeah.
that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Okay, so yeah,
Gotcha.
Phil.
Makes sense.
Yeah, Phil.
Do you want
Good
to
job.
read off?
Do we want to read off? Do you want
Oh,
to?
okay, you're going to go.
Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
We can do that. Let's look. You want me to? I'll read it off since we're good
ahead.
pals. His quarterback is Joe Burrow, as we all know. You picked him a little earlier than maybe you had to, but I don't hate it as long as he stays healthy. We got Christian McCaffrey. I wonder what pick he got that with. Isaiah Pacheco as his backup. Wide receiver 1, Marvin Harrison Jr. Wide receiver 2, Garrett's best friend, Debo Samuel. Tight end, Dallas Goddard.
Goddard.
Nice one.
Dallas Gobbert.
Hey, dude, I'm not used to doing the podcast at 9 o'clock. It's getting a little late. Calvin Ridley as flex. The Dolphins defense. McPherson as his kicker. Chris Godwin on the bench. Zay Flowers. Williams. Is that Jamal Williams? Javonte. Brock Purdy as his backup QB. I like that. Ezekiel Elliott. Taysom Hill.
Yep.
And Tyler Boyd on the bench. Solid squad.
Yeah.
Solid squad.
I don't hate that at all. Obviously, it's going to all depend on health.
Yes.
Specifically, his QB and running back, which, I mean, we all hope the quarterback stays healthy
Yeah.
all year and plays 17 games.
And
so-
running back, too. I want to see my running back and his running back both stay healthy. I want to see McCaffrey versus Barkley.
That's fair. Phil.
All right. I got Mr. Trevor Lawrence leading my team. And then I'm just going to go through my starters.
That's fine.
I got Jahmyr Gibbs, Rashad White, CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, Jake Ferguson, and Devon Achane.
So, Phil, I have to ask you, Lamb and Ferguson, does that concern you at all since you're starting?
Absolutely, dude. I waited way too long to get a tight end. I was planning on taking one, and 2 went off the board right before my pick.
I will say, though,
that
I
sucks.
like Ayuk on your bench, even though I think he'd probably be one of your starters.
I think
depending what happens there.
I'd rather kind of start him over Achane and let him see how that situation rolls itself out. I also did get Raheem Mostert just in case. I got him and Achane.
Yeah,
That's good security.
Yeah, so the handcuff is always the way to go, especially in a system like that.
Oh, yeah.
I have breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Cherry 20, sources say, Cherry 20s have cut Ezekiel Elliott.
Did we bully him into cutting
Immediately.
We bullied him into cutting Zeke.
Yeah,
That's fantastic. Oh,
I don't think he needed too much bullying on Zeke. Let's be honest.
we'll do the same thing. Just run down the starters for this Trey's talented team or whatever the ESPN gave him.
Trey's
a name.
talented team.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson, Najee Harris, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, Trey McBride, Aaron Jones, Cowboys defense with Butker. I'm not sure how to feel about this team. I like Bijan. I don't know if I like Harris as his number 2 running back.
No.
And when I look at the rest of the team, his number 3 running back is Gus Edwards. So that is a little bit of uncertainty at running back.
Yeah.
Especially if Jones or Bijan get hurt.
Yeah. Well, I can see a world where if they're running that Russ-centric offense, I mean, Edwards and Dobbins are going to probably get a lot of touches. So I wouldn't hate that. It's just a matter of health. How good are those touches? How much will they go to it with Justin Herbert, top 5 talent in the NFL? So I don't hate that team though.
And Edwards
Jalen
usually
Hurts
gets
is good
the
QB.
red zone touches. At least he did in Baltimore. I don't really expect that to change here. So
Right.
I think those will be good numbers.
That's fair. I'm still iffy on the Chargers just because I fear if Herbert's hurt.
Right.
If the Herbert is hurt, they may not win a game. I don't know even who their backup is. Does anybody know?
Is
who
it still Easton Stick?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sounds
I have
about
another
right.
name
So-
for him
I
that
know-
I'll
good
save for
pull,
after the
good
show.
pull.
I know Duggan was at some point on that team, but I don't know if he made it or not.
Harbaugh probably cut him out of PTSD. I know he's been trying to cut Quentin
I
Johnson.
forgot about that.
Oh, I haven't. But then we're talking about the league champions now, and Slim Shiesty, led by Joshua Northcutt, a.k.a. that's me, Josh Allen, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle, Dalton Kincaid, Tank Dell, Bengals, and Moody. I'm going to tell you right now, Kupp, Waddle, and Dell, I love them, but it scares me because all 3 of them deal with injuries a lot.
Yeah. They definitely. How many times do I want to say definitely?
Somebody's clearly past his bedtime.
Yeah. Okay, that 9 o'clock wall hit, and it's like, man, I just want to sit down and watch some TV and then go to bed. But, yeah, I would definitely question that injury-wise. Breece Hall is somebody that I would have loved to have taken if I was in that position. But I worry about his offensive line. We know it's not the best offensive line. It's not even an average offensive line. And that team is just full of injury-ridden people that you're basically saying if they stay healthy, well, they haven't done that in the last couple of years. So that's Breece Hall specifically, but Kupp also had some injury issues. Etienne, I don't think he's had too many of those, but yeah.
Fight is next. That's, I don't believe any of us. That would
No.
be Mahomes, Henry, Cook, Hill, Olave, Ingram, Higgins, Jets, and Elliott. Anytime you have Mahomes, you got a chance in
He's
a week.
got
You
That's
got
a nice
Tyreek, you
team.
got a chance in a week.
He's got a
Yep.
fun week 12, though.
I like that.
Holy cow. But you know,
Whoever's got him week 12 just won the lottery.
but the thing of it is, though, if you get that 1 week of bye, it's not bad. 1 loss isn't going to kill you.
No.
So you just sink that week and then you dominate the rest. I do like that team a lot. I think Cook is one of those sleeper mid-round, but starters because, I mean, outside Kincaid, Cook might be the number 2 wide receiver, dumping the ball off to him, and he's going to run. And Derrick Henry in that Ravens defense, offense side, he's going to run the ball. So, Garrett, your team was next.
Yes, it is. I'll go ahead and read down it here really quick. So, starting quarterback, I got C.J. Stroud. Running backs, Josh Jacobs and Brian Robinson Jr. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase and Mike Evans. Tight end, Sam Laporta. Flex, Devontae Smith. Steelers defense, and Younghoe Koo as my kicker.
I really like your team, Garrett, for a first time ever doing this.
Yeah.
I think you did very well. You got 2 running backs who have no competition, so they're going to run the ball. You got a young, bright quarterback who loves throwing it. and you got the most consistent wide receiver in the NFL, maybe history, along with the curveball of maybe what happens with Chase. But if Chase plays, I mean, you could have the wide receiver one. So I don't hate your team at all. Very nicely done, sir.
You don't think
Thank you.
Robinson has any competition from Eckler?
I don't know if you watched Austin Eckler run last year, but I run faster than Austin
I was about to say,
Eckler.
that man is slow.
I run
That's a
faster
good
than Austin
point.
Eckler.
That's a good point.
Man, his knees are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Just thought I'd throw it out there.
no, I don't think any.
I will say the one concern I have with my team is that I do have a lot of rookies on the bench. So
Hey, it's not a
That's-
bad thing.
Yeah.
That can
It's
go.
not the
That can
worst.
go well. That can go bad. I've
Yeah.
had a year like that, so
yeah.
it could go really well for you. Especially, I like the rookies you have, to be honest.
No, for first time ever doing it, I think you did very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Ben's
Speaking
best
of
team.
another first timer,
Here we go.
Ben be jamming. Let's
All
hear
right.
it.
All right, so for my quarterback in my starting lineup is Dak Prescott, running back Tony Pollard, Kyron Williams, Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mark Andrews, Jamison Williams, the Browns defense, and my kicker is Justin Tucker.
I still can't
Just let
help.
it out. Let it out.
Like the kicker and defense when you took
it's
them
just
is still
when you
funny.
took them.
Yeah.
Like you have one of the best defenses, if not the best defense. You have the best kicker. It was just a matter of where you took him. But the rest of it,
Yep.
Mark Andrews, that's a top
that's good.
tier tight end right there.
Yep.
Stephon Diggs, I don't know about that, but that's still not a bad pick if he lives up to the potential that he could have.
Yeah.
So,
Amon
for
Ross
what
St.
it's
Brown, I
worth
think,
for
will definitely
everybody-
be available for majority of the game, so the availability is the best ability. So I do think this is a good team. I think we made fun of you because of when you drafted those guys, but all in all, it's a good team, especially for your first time.
What were you saying, Phil?
Yeah, what were you saying, Phil?
So for what it's worth to anybody, ESPN ranks the drafts from first to worst.
Oh,
And
really?
Please tell me I'm last.
I'm definitely last.
No, last place goes to drumroll. Ben's best team.
So Ben's winning. Ben's winning the league.
So Ben wins the league.
Where do you see that, Phil?
Yeah,
It's
we're-
under playoff projections.
All right.
Oh,
well,
you have to go out to. I'm still on the draft
we can
board.
recap with that
yeah,
after we get
we'll-
done.
we'll go through
Alex,
that when we're
your
done.
team is next.
I have Lamar Jackson, Joe Mixon, Ramondre Stevenson, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Travis Kelce, George Pickens, the 49ers defense, and Fairbairn. I am really excited about this team. I think it's going to be, especially in a PPR league, people who get a lot of receptions, even the running
Especially
backs.
Jefferson.
Yeah, and then Lamar's going to be able to be versatile and give me points both running and passing. So
Mm-hmm.
I really like how I drafted.
I like your team a lot. Definitely. I mean, you got the best tight end. You have arguably the best wide receiver. Fantasy points wise, you might have the best QB, just depending on how that all works out. Yeah, your team is tough. I don't know about Mixon and Stevenson. Those are two guys
the
that for
two running
me
backs is what I was a little worried about.
is what I'm shaky on. And we know Mixon's a workhorse, but what's he going to look like in the Texans offense? He doesn't have any competition, so you definitely have that.
Right.
So I like the Mixon pick.
Ramondre Stevenson has looked good, so that's why I picked him as my RB2.
He's good.
but-
Is he still on the Patriots?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
And
thought.
he also, on his bench, I know we didn't talk about it, but he's got J.K. Dobbins, who I think is
Yeah.
a boomer bust. If J.K. can be healthy,
Yeah.
He'll
one of these
replace
years.
one of those two in the starting if he's healthy.
I definitely consider JK.
I would even start him week 1, maybe. I mean, I'm not trying to give you advice, but I would. If I had JK, I was thinking about getting him and
Trying
like
to be the devil on your shoulder.
sneaking him in there week 1 because I mean we saw him week 1 last year, right? He had a great game until he got hurt. So yeah, I think Alex is probably the best team I've seen so far, if you ask me. Haven't seen mine yet, but
Deshaun, we're not going to go any further. Yeah, Deshaun's picks were next. Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, Alvin Kamara, Wilson, London, Kittle, Neighbors, Ravens, and Zorline. Gonna be honest, guys, I kind of like this team.
I do
It's
too.
A boomer bust, though.
It's
These are a lot
the
of players who-
QB is the question mark. I
yeah,
have.
Richardson, but it's also the combo of the quarterback running back that I told you I don't like.
Yeah.
But these two,
Taylor Kamara.
That's the one QB RB I would take probably.
I think I would debate it. But aren't they going to steal each other's rushing touchdowns?
They might.
True. Well, he gets them either way.
Yeah. So the Colts have to score a lot. So is this guy a Colt fan, Phil?
No, he's from Chicago.
interesting.
Okay.
That's not what I would have got out of that looking at that team.
Looking at the first two there. But, yeah, I really like this team. I don't know if I drafted Richardson, that I'd have him as my only QB, though, is the only thing. Because we know
that would be something I would worry about for sure.
He still has yet to play a game where he did not get injured. So hopefully he's able to do that. I'm actually all for it as an Indiana native. They're not my favorite team, but I still root for the Colts a little bit. And I'd love to see what Anthony Richardson, what little bit we saw from him to start the season. I'd like to see that come back this year. But Jonathan Taylor, that was somebody I really wanted to take. It was taken out of my hands. But, yeah.
Let's talk about your team led by the toddler.
Yeah. Kyler Murray.
Toddler.
Any chance he gets?
Kyler Murray.
Toddler.
Murray Kyler?
Toddler.
No, there's no other way I can say it. Cardinals quarterback.
Cardinals quarterback.
Okay, I didn't say it. Saquon Barkley, Kenneth Walker, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, Kyle Pitts, DJ Moore, and the Saints defense. This is honestly about the same team I had last year in another league. I love Kenneth Walker. I always think he's undervalued. I like Puka Nacua. I think he definitely wasn't undervalued on here, but I think a lot of people overlook him, thinking he's not going to back up that season. I truly think he will. Nico Collins, I talked about him earlier. I think he's definitely a number one receiver in the NFL. Or not the number one receiver, but you know what I'm saying.
Still mad at you for taking Pitts.
And Kyle Pitts, I think, is going to finally have the year we have been waiting 4 years for.
I think Pitts is going to ball out.
I think we're fine. I'm excited to see it too, because all the conversation around him has been insane over his career. I mean, everyone agrees that he's talented. Everyone knows that. It's just a matter of getting a coach that will unlock that talent. We haven't seen it yet. And I very much think the coach Raheem Morris will be the one to unlock that. And and the Saints defense, I think they're actually a good defense any week. They typically seem to hold teams below their average, so I might end up just keeping them throughout the year. I'll obviously keep an eye on the waiver wire, but yeah, they had the Panthers week 1.
Demario Davis and Marshawn Lattimore are definitely two stalwarts on that New Orleans defense. That's having that veteran presence in Davis, lead your linebacking core, and then just the lockdown ability of Lattimore that's an underrated defense. I think that's
right.
ever since Breeze left, that's kind of has been the strength of New Orleans outside of a couple random games.
That's what I was going to say though. Is I worry about. I talked about Ben with this before the show, is when you have an offense that doesn't support your defense, that can sometimes hurt your defenses. If they're having to go out there time and time again, your offense isn't getting anything. I don't think they'll have that problem against the Panthers, except the Panthers do have a pretty decent defense. But, that would be the one thing I could see, okay, they're not getting anything done here. They got Spencer Rattler, Derek Carr at quarterback. Have they announced who they have starting week 1? I would assume Derek Carr probably.
I think they said Carr,
But, that would be the only thing I worry about. And Tua, I said it earlier, I think Tua honestly might start week 1. I have to look at the matchups and whatnot. Kyler I got for the rushing yards, but Tua I think will be the guy, as long as he's healthy, will be able to be consistently my starting QB throughout the year. But he just falls because I guess he's not as mobile. Definitely not as mobile as Kyler, so... that's really my team. Keon Coleman, I just love his personality, so I picked him up.
That's what I was going to say. Him and Xavier Leggett both are
yes.
in the Hall of Fame.
I could listen to Xavier talk all day, man. His twang is, it's awesome, dude.
So are we not concerned with the Texans' production wide receiver wide just because there's so many weapons? Do y'all think the production will go down for each one individually, or? I could see that. I think... if I was the offensive coordinator, the coach of the Texans, I don't think Stephon Diggs is. I think he's past his prime. I think we all can agree on that. And I think he's going to regress even more this season. You don't agree with that?
Not at all. And I don't think the
Texans. Didn't see him.
I don't think the Texans agree with you either. Do you remember Randy Moss in Oakland when he was upset and looked past his prime, and then Randy Moss went to a new team in New England?
So we're comparing Stephon Diggs to Randy Moss.
At one point, Stephon Diggs was the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Garrett, am I crazy? Do you agree with that?
I mean, I don't I don't agree with the comparison, but I'm not disputing the fact that yes, at one point Stephon Diggs was the best receiver in the NFL at that time.
He was lazy last year. He was upset. He wasn't getting the ball enough, which is a slight concern because
I was gonna say what's going to stop him. Yeah.
What's partially he was just named team captain today, so clearly the players are buying into him as what he's bringing to the team. So no, I to say he's washed. I mean, he just turns 30 next year. He's only 29.
Okay.
So washed. I won't let you do that.
I'll say I said past his prime. I never said wash.
I was about to say I didn't hear wash.
I never said wash.
I would have said something.
I won't even say past his prime. I still think he's got a few good years.
Still
left
think he's in his prime. I can't after that Bills game. I mean, he had a wide open pass. You're supposed to be one of the best wide receivers in the league, and you drop a wide open pass from Josh Allen.
Go back and watch Randy Moss in Oakland.
I mean,
these diva wide receivers, when they get upset, they play really, really bad, which is another thing we need to be concerned about a certain team.
Yeah. Well, I think Neo Collins is going to be good.
He's from Michigan. Of course he's going to be good. But you know what? I think it's time for the prediction so we can get out of here. So
that's a good point. I do have a really quick question that we can all kind of maybe jump on here. Was there a guy that wasn't picked that you think could have got picked? Because in my queue, I had Matt Stafford. I was going between Baker Mayfield and Matt Stafford to be my backup QB, and I went with my heart and chose Baker. But based on all of the stuff we've recorded earlier, it sounds like Stafford is going to have a pretty big year this year.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised that no one took him.
I'm honestly surprised too.
He doesn't run enough. We talked about it. Fantasy, you got to run.
You got to run?
Yeah, you got to run. You need a quarterback who's going to be mobile and run a little bit. But if you're going to ask me anybody who wasn't picked, just looking at the list, Xavier Leggett, just because, that's fun. No, I'm kidding. The kind of TJ Hawkinson, especially with the IR spot that we have. Hawkinson could be a top 5 tight end when he comes back. The dude is going to be Sam Darnold's, oh crap, I'm in trouble, and just throw the ball to him. Mm-hmm. Hopefully I'm not giving that away to anybody who doesn't have a tight end. But that would be my pick. I think somebody probably would have or could have taken a shot on TJ Hawkinson.
I was thinking about it.
So anybody else have a name, or we want to get into our predictions?
I was going to look at the predictions here.
If nobody else has one off the top of our head, we can just move on.
Yeah, Jimmy has already dropped Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, he literally has.
See that.
So Super Bowl prediction time. We've been obviously breaking down every single division over the last few months.
I thought you were talking about the fantasy predictions.
Oh, okay. If you got that up.
I got that up. If you want to hear it real quick, I'll go through. So at number 1, we have... Or should I go start from the bottom? We'll start from the bottom.
Okay.
So, at the bottom, Ben, I'm right here with you. Ben's best team.
Ben, in ninth. That usually means good things. ESPN knows nothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. At number 9, we have Colton's top-notch squad. You're not working for the ESPN, buddy. At number 8, we have Classic Phil.
There it is.
At number 7, we have Trey's. I don't remember the rest of his name. If you want to say it, Phil, go ahead.
Trey's terrific team.
Terrific team.
There it is.
And then we have Metcalf, Triple M's. He's at number 6. We have Deshaun at number 5. Slim Shiesty at number 4. The Chenry 20s at number 3. The Presidential Picks at number 2. And at number 1, we have the Fight. Wow. I think the Presidential Picks at number 2 is good. I think was Fight the other one I said I really liked.
I don't remember.
I thought it was maybe Trey's team.
I think it was Trey's team, but the fact I'm 4th, I'm calling bull crap on that. But we'll see what happens.
Well, you just flip the standings at the end of the year.
We'll see.
We'll see about that. But let's get into our final segment of the show, where we'll be talking about our playoff predictions. Alex, you prepared some?
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go ahead and start as our guest.
So for the NFC Championship, I have the Eagles playing the 49ers.
Okay.
I have the Eagles winning that. I just think their offense and their defense have just improved so much over this offseason that it's impossible to deny that they'll be there. In the AFC, I wanted to pick the Texans so bad. I really did. But Kansas City plays football. So I can't bet against them, so I have the Chiefs beating the Texans. And then in the Super Bowl, I have the Chiefs over the Eagles for the 3-peat.
Wow. God, I hate everything.
I would also hate that, yeah.
Yeah, we all hate it.
Phil, you got your take of the at least Super Bowl if you don't have the championships?
Yeah, I'll just go Super Bowls. I think like a lot of NFL fans right now, I'm just like beaten down by the Chiefs, dude. Like, it's so hard to bet against them, and it sucks that I'm betting for them in this scenario. You know, they're gonna win it, dude.
They
got better.
It's literally being written as we were talking about it that they're gonna win it.
Yeah.
So
Travis Kelce is gonna propose to Taylor Swift at halftime. That's gonna be the halftime show. You heard it here first.
I'll already be tuned out. Yeah.
And the Chiefs are gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so I got the Chiefs over the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yep.
Garrett?
I mean,
Seahawks over Bengals, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, those are the two teams that are making it. No, I kind of already gave my prediction. I mean, it's literally written in the stars that the Chiefs are going to three-peat. It's just the question of who they're going to play. And I think it's going to come down to an NFC Championship rematch between the Lions and the oh my God, I said the Bears. Lions and the 49ers. Excuse me.
Maybe a while back.
Excuse me.
we thought Ben was high on the Bears.
No kidding.
They're not going that far.
Good, glad he.
No, they might get a wild card. They might shock some people.
Yeah,
but
without
I
a
don't-
doubt.
I don't think they'll make it that far. No. Like my gut says 49ers, but my heart says Lions because I love Dan Campbell, and so I think the Lions are going to make it to the Super Bowl, but then lose because the story's been written.
Ben.
All right, so for the NFC Championship, I'm going with the Lions. They will take on the 49ers. And AFC Championship, the Chiefs and the Texans, Super Bowl. The Lions will stop the Chiefs from repeating the three-peat. So
All right.
I'm going with the Lions.
All right. I like the
Okay.
positivity in this room.
Yep.
This flips and flops around for me a lot, but at this very second, I have in the AFC the Chiefs beating the Bengals. Oh, it hurts to say. In the NFC, I'm still thinking about it. I'm gonna go with the Eagles over the Lions, and I went against the grain in saying that the Eagles will defeat the Chiefs in the playoff or in the Super Bowl. The redemption, absolutely. It'll be almost like when they beat the Patriots that first time around. So
correct me if I'm wrong. You said Chiefs, not Chiefs.
Chiefs Bengals.
No, Eagles, Lions.
Correct.
So who do you have the 49ers losing to in that scenario?
I mean, it would depend on how it all shaped up, but either team, honestly. I would say more likely the Eagles, but I think the Lions showed last year they can certainly still beat that team. And I think the Niners are going to have, I don't think I said this originally, but the more I look at them, I think they're going to have some issues. I think there's going to be a little trouble in paradise over there. Yes, they have probably the most talented team out there, but I think they still have some, there's just some vibe around them, I guess. I can't describe
It's
it.
a
But
stigma.
there's like a vibe, I feel, and it's a bad vibe. I feel good vibes with the Eagles and the Lions, and so that's who I put there. And you could really interchange it. I think the Chiefs do fall. I mean, I hope so. I guess it's just mostly hopeful thinking. But at the end of the day, yeah, anybody but the Chiefs.
All right.
Give me the Ravens. I don't care.
I'm completely disagreeing with everybody, so this is fun. My NFC Championship is Packers over the Niners. As I mentioned,
I thought you were saying Super Bowl. I was like, wait a minute.
No, Packers over Niners in the NFC.
Okay.
The AFC is Miami Dolphins
Oh.
over the Houston Texans. Yes, gentlemen, I'm not picking the Chiefs to get to the AFC Championship. Three-peat gets stopped before then.
Who does it?
The
Gotta hope so.
The Texans. Okay.
Gotta
and then
hope
they
so.
lose to the Dolphins. And then in the Super Bowl, MVP, Love, goes on to win Super Bowl MVP and beats the Miami Dolphins. Packers take home the Super Bowl. And yet again, everyone has to ask, how does the Green Bay Packers keep drafting these franchise quarterbacks when we can't get one right?
Right.
Yeah. I could see it, but that's definitely an alternate reality.
I'm
That's
just-
Josh's reality there.
I'm just surprised that you
I
had
hope
Tua
you're
going
right.
to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's another great
I
point.
told you, I think Tua
He
is going to have
flipped.
an MVP-like season. I'm buying in. Specifically, I'm buying into that defense more I looked into it. I love what Anthony Weaver is bringing over via the Ravens core and mindset. I'm a huge believer in the mindset of this Ravens new scheme. I want to say it's like a 4-2-5 kind of flip type nonsense. Michigan won a national championship with it. So I'm a believer in it. I can't explain it. I think the weapons are there. It'd be great if they could get the Diva Odell Beckham Jr. on the field rather than just doing whatever he is doing right now. But even without that, they have the best running back core in the NFL. The three-headed monster of A-Chain, Jalen Wright, and Mostert.
Yep.
They're going to be very, very, very good this year. I'm telling you right now. It is going to be scary with that offense. It's going to be like watching Oregon, old school Oregon play. They're going to just sling it and they're going to run it, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think this will be the year that the Dolphins do actually beat some good playoff teams. So hopefully that's the case. But do you guys have any other sign-offs, hot takes, bad jokes?
I thought it was interesting. Colton, you mentioned like teams having an aura and how the 49ers you feel like have a bad aura around them. Have we seen I'm gonna get his last name wrong and confused. The coach for Miami, Mike McDaniels. McDaniels. Okay. Yeah. Miami has taken him. Yeah, he is 100% Miami now. The scruffy look with the gold-rimmed glasses. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can't think of what it was, but I saw a tweet that said he's slowly morphing into like some character from a show. I can't remember.
He's like a kingpin.
Yeah, something like that. Like. Yeah, it's literally what he's slowly turning into. Yeah,
he's like slouching in all of his post-game pressers with the glasses on. I love it, dude. And like you talked about 49ers having negative energy. The Dolphins feel like they have positive energy with that man as their head coach.
Yeah, absolutely. That dude is hilarious. His interviews. I saw like a montage from like his first like introductory. He's got a suit on and everything, looking all nice, and then you see like to this year where he's like you said, looks straight up like a mafia boss or something. Like he is Miami now.
I'm gonna say before we wrap everything up, I do just want to say, Phil, thanks for joining us. I know he's going to add to it, but I just want to say personally, Phil, thanks for joining us, and Alex, obviously, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
If you want to plug your podcast, feel free now. I know you're a little less selfish, so go ahead and plug your podcast.
Yes. For the Northerner, I do the Beyond the Score podcast with Matt Supinger. You can follow us on Instagram or Twitter at BT_score, or YouTube at Beyond the Score 123.
I'm also a part of that podcast. I'm officially a part now.
Colton is the director. He got promoted.
I'm the Garrett.
Not behind the scenes.
Yeah, no longer behind the scenes, guys. I'm the director. It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. But yeah, that's all I got. I just want to thank all of you guys for watching, sticking through, or those of you who even came and left. Thank you all for sticking around, and thank you, Garrett, for doing a lot of work there on the director's chair. I loved it when you went to pick something and you would just be stuck on whatever.
Yeah, I tried to do the best I could, but I got the laptop over here and I got the switcher on this side, so I'm like, T-posing trying to do a pick, and also but think about my draft while also making sure I'm pairing voices so I know what to flip to on the switcher. So yeah, I'm gonna go home and probably have a nice sleep after this.
Yeah, you absolutely had the hardest job of any of us tonight. So thank you for that. Thank you, Phil and Alex, like Josh said, for coming out. Very great for having you guys. Great to have you all. And of course, thank you, Ben and Josh, for being here as always. And be sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter. We're trying to get to 50 subscribers here on YouTube so we can do a giveaway. What are we giving away?
It was Reds tickets, but we're running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time for that. So better subscribe so you can get your Reds tickets. But we'll get you something for sure. We'll get you when we figure that out. But that is all we have. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, NKU Media Services. Thank you, Bill Farrell. Put in a lot of work today before I even got here. And he is what makes this podcast run. He is the only reason we are live today. So thank you, Bill, for all that you do. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.